when it started,
All
bro.
right, hey guys, we're live. I'm here with my friend Akai to
What's up, everyone?
talk about it being Joever. Like,
Over. Dude, it's
everybody,
crazy.
how's everyone doing? The chat's actually like going crazy right now. The chat has
Man,
never been this busy before a stream
I
before.
want to see that on my end. That's crazy. That's crazy. What do we start with? What do we start
Um,
with? Kamala Harris.
I
Who?
mean,
What are your thoughts on Harris being the nominee?
okay. Well, first of all, this is crazy, dude. Like I'm still like it felt. I texted you this and I saw like a couple of people say it on Twitter. It feels like we're living through some like Shondaland plot line.
Yeah. What did I say? Presidential assassination. We've had a potential first female black nominee. We've had President Trump get convicted. We've had Joe Biden step down. Like, this is super historic. This is like one of the most historic elections ever, dude.
Yeah,
Especially,
like I've.
yeah, you
Sorry,
can go.
go ahead. No, I
I
mean, I
mean,
was gonna say in the never-ending election cycle video, I was talking about how it felt like every election kept getting crazier and crazier, and I said that before any of that went down. Like
dude.
I didn't think these were the heights we were going to reach.
No, oh
I
my
don't
god.
know. It's just
I think
oh,
Harris has a
oh
chance, but it's also we're still too early
here
on to
we
tell.
we were
Is
kind of answering this guy's question already. So, well, you could because you asked me the same thing. I'm gonna say I think that Trump hasn't. I think Trump is the favorite,
mhm.
but I think that people might be a little too sure about Trump winning.
I think
I
so too.
think
I think so
that
too.
in like if you look at 2016, people were so sure about Hillary, and look what happened there. You know, like they
Mhm.
really, really elections have a way of kind of fooling us. And I think if you look at the fact that Trump won in 2016, had poor midterm performances in both midterms after that, lost a presidential election. He never won the popular vote. You know, like there's just certain things like that. Like people just generally don't like Trump. Or
Exactly.
yeah, I do mean 2018. Thank you, Pedro. Like people generally don't like Trump very much. And I think if you look at Man, like if you look at the polling for swing state candidates like Ruben Gallego and see how far above Biden they were polling, and like people aren't going to show up and vote for Ruben Gallego and vote for Trump. You know, in
Mhm.
my opinion, that's just not going to happen. So I think that, like, I still think Trump's probably going to win, but I think it's going to be closer than a lot of people are expecting it to be. And also, there's just an eternity between now and election day.
If the election were held today, it's like it's definitely going to be Trump, but we don't know what's. I don't know what's going to happen 4 years. I mean, 4 months from now, because I was thinking about the DNC's. They have a really great shot at like improving Kamala Harris's approval rating with this DNC speech. Because what's going to happen? You're going to have Biden come out. He's leaving. Everyone's going to be sad about Biden going. He's going to give some sad speech. I hate to get all like shouldn't say this, but he's going to bring up his sons. I mean, his sons and his original wife. It's going to be a very emotional speech, and then he's going to be like, "Hey, I'm passing the baton to Kamala," and that's going to be like really big.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny because it's almost like and we talked about this a bit, how Biden said he was going to pass the torch, and then he was kind of careful about that language, right? Saying he was going to be a transition to the next generation of politicians, and how
Mhm.
it was kind of implied that he wasn't going to run for re-election.
Yeah,
And instead of sort of gracefully bowing out at the ripe young age of 81, he just went down, like they went down this road where it was just embarrassing. And I think we'll see whether or not he's remembered as like the cranky old guy who was pushed out or as like the gracious leader who stepped aside.
I think it's going to be the
I don't
gracious
know.
leader, especially in
I
opposition to Trump. It's gonna that's how the I think that's how historians will look back on it. But I'm super interested for that. But yeah, I think the
oh,
we'll see how the DNC does. And by the way, is my camera working well? Because it might be bad on my side. Bad Wi-Fi.
I don't know. I see you, man. I see you
Okay,
fine.
cool. But yeah, VP choices. Well, do you have to go with the questions first? Because I have a million questions that we can ask each other.
Oh, dude, we have a lot more comments than usual.
I want
I'm
to
not
see.
that good at
I want to see
keeping
on
up
the.
with them. So Will Faccaroni, common or he's been on the streams before. I recognize him. He said, "I don't think Kamala has much of a chance. She's much more unpopular than Biden was, and
Mhm.
most conservative talking points already involve her." I don't know.
It's
I
gonna
don't
come
know
down
if
to a
I.
VP. I don't know how I feel about that yet. It's too early to tell. She never
Yeah.
actually like ran in Iowa, I don't believe. There's a lot we don't know about Kamala. And this goes to the VP conversation I want to bring up. Like, who do you think is gonna but the questions, you have so many questions to answer, but I think depending on her VP is gonna determine like what happens with her. She needs
I
to go
mean,
for someone.
man, it's gonna be a swing state white guy or Andy
Yeah,
Bashir.
an older white dude. But that can be important. Roy Cooper of North Carolina, very I think he's charismatic enough and has like he's his the vibe he gives off is very appropriate for a VP pick for Kamala. You know.
Yeah, I mean, see, I don't know anything about Roy Cooper. Like, I know almost literally nothing about him. I've seen Mark Kelly's name thrown around, and I think that that's pretty cool. Just, I think the astronaut factor, people like that. Like, he's just, it's a swing state. He's old, generic, just like normal white guy. He has the super heroic astronaut background. People like it's inspirational. It sort of brings a bit of like I don't want to say like I guess, hmm, sense of American accomplishment that we
I see.
haven't really had in the presidency in a little bit. So I think that could be fun. People always say Josh Shapiro, but I don't know. There's
He's
something
too
about Josh
new.
Shapiro that makes me think it won't be him.
Yeah, he's too new. I would say the reason I'd go with Roy Cooper is that North Carolina has been a purple state. Like Obama won it in '08, Trump won it, and it like Trump Biden lost it by like 1.3%. And can't think of the amount of electoral college votes you get from it, but I'm pretty sure it's like a good number. I actually want to check that right now.
I think 16.
16. Okay, yeah, that's
I think you should check, but I think so.
Yeah, gotcha. But yeah, that's really important.
I don't. The thing about Shapiro though is I believe Shapiro won Pennsylvania by double digits, so that would pretty
15.
much lock down Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I think they might get North. You know what? Let me not speak on that. I actually don't know. I don't know enough to say on that. But the fact that they got Josh Shapiro and then John Fetterman there, I don't think it's impossible. I don't know. The problem is Kamala Harris is like a California Democrat. That to me is also a big problem. Like there's so many. She's very.
I mean, but what? She was never. Was she Attorney General of California or
Yeah,
just of San
she's Attorney
Francisco?
General. Or
Oh, okay. I was gonna
she's really
say if
Attorney
she
General.
hadn't been elected to like a state office like that and only to the U.S. Senate, she might not have that same baggage necessarily.
She was Attorney General. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. That's my only problem with her. But I
Ooh,
think she's a pretty decent speaker.
I like this question from AJ
I
Westgate.
don't.
Can
I don't
Harris win the Rust Belt?
no,
I don't know.
I
I
don't.
guess that would be an argument for putting someone like a Josh Shapiro or I guess even an Andy Bashir on the ticket
Andy
instead of
Bashir's
Mark
too young.
Kelly.
I think he's too young. And Kamala Harris has like probably like a lot of people might feel like she's incompetent. And she's not able to govern. I think Andy Bashir's too young. I think she needs like an older dude.
Well, but then if it isn't Bashir and it isn't Shapiro, do you think Roy Cooper would bring in Rust Belt
That's what I'm
folks?
saying. I think Roy Cooper is the best choice right now. There's probably someone else I'm not thinking of, but Roy Cooper's. I've seen him speak. He's a pretty great speaker. Nothing like Obama level, but who is Obama level? So Biden's not
Jet
Obama.
Starfish said, "Do you think Trump is regretting picking Vance as VP now? He may need someone different to match up against Kamala's ticket." I
Maybe.
mean, it's definitely a disadvantage to have picked your vice president with like just a very shaky idea of what the
Yeah.
ticket's going to be.
Do you know?
I'm pretty bullish on the fact that him choosing Vance is him like feeling confident that he's going to win the election.
Do you know how
Right?
he got Vance? How like what made
How?
him choose Vance? Basically, he was gonna choose like Doug Burgum or another like more like moderate choice. But then Don Jr. and like his whole family was like, dude, choose JD Vance. Choose JD Vance. I don't know if you've seen like Trump Jr. has been around Vance a lot because I've been following Vance since like freaking like what 2020. Trump Jr. is really close to Vance, so that's why.
Yeah, dude, it was so weird for me about JD Vance because I know that like Marshall and Sagar are friends with him.
Yeah, I was gonna bring
Like
that up too.
Marshall Kozlov, who I interviewed, who's a fucking amazing podcaster.
Mm-hmm. Love,
Um,
love Marshall.
I was like, man, I interviewed this dude who interviewed like the current vice presidential nominee. That's scary.
And
Like
he
that's
knows
weird.
Marshall. They know each other.
Mm.
So it's crazy.
Yeah.
And this is what I was gonna bring up too. Like it's crazy the idea that like they're like, oh my god, like this is uncanny. Like I know these guys. Just long ago we were like just talking. And the idea that this person's vice president now makes us think about like us. Like one day we might have to say the same thing. Like, oh my god, I know this. I knew this dude was just a regular dude, and now he's
dude, I cannot imagine being in their shoes. It is weird, and it's something that's a bit of I don't know, something with the Marshall interview in particular. I think just because he's like very like inside establishment Washington circles, you know, like that sort of environment to be like, oh wow, like someone like that considers like my opinion legitimate and values what I have to say. Like that was weird. That was very very
You
strange
know how
thing
I
for me.
reacted to that. That was like the coolest like moment of my life. I almost felt like I got to meet Marshall when you started talking to him. So yeah. Tim Walz.
Suom said Tim Walz, Tony Evers, man. I like Tim Walz. I wish it would be
Tim
him, but I don't
Walz,
think it will
yes.
be. I
Tim
haven't seen a
Walz would be-
single mention of him.
Tim Walz. That's actually interesting. Actually, I can actually see that. Actually, I'm not opposed to that at all. Tim Walz.
Is he too progressive though? Is he too
Might be.
like?
But
Do they
he doesn't-
want just a very normal dude?
He doesn't have a progressive vibe, which I think is more important. It's more about like the vibe that you give off. He doesn't
That's
have
true.
that vibe, so it'd be fine. Like it's. I'm glad people aren't saying Newsom for VP. Like, that would be a bad.
I mean, that's two California candidates, dude. That'd be dumb.
Yeah, that'd be horrible.
Morgan says Kamala was a part of the cover-up and lies around Joe Biden and calling all the evidence of his decline cheap fakes and misinfo and everything else. Maybe. I don't know if necessarily if that would have that much of an effect on her. Like I wish it was like politicians were kind of held more to accountability on inconsistencies like that, but honestly the attention span of the electorate is pretty short, and considering all the craziness that's happened, I'm not really sure that's necessarily something they're going to remember.
And someone said this, it's a pretty obvious point, but like people aren't going to start caring really until like after the DNC and after like things like really start to heat up in those last 2 months. So
Pedro, okay, I like this question. If we have any opinions on Obama being the only active former Dem president to not mention Kamala Harris on his statement on Biden, do you think Obama and Pelosi establish an openish convention? I don't think so.
No, I think that would be really dumb on their part. That's really dumb on their part.
I do wonder why Obama didn't endorse Harris though.
That's weird. It goes back to that thing that Obama was saying, like when Joe Biden was running, like he doesn't want to sway anything in one direction. Because you remember Obama in 2008, like he technically had like a former president that was backing another person to be president. Like Bill Clinton was hard for Hillary Clinton, obviously. So he probably remembers that and is thinking maybe I should stay off of this. But it's still weird though. That still doesn't make sense to me for this moment specifically.
I saw people kind of joking about this online, but I do think there might be a little bit of legitimacy to it. That's like if Harris did have some sort of like challenger, no matter how weak of a challenger it was, it could kind of help to legitimize her place and make it more something that she earned over, you know, like I saw someone saying that Kamala should have one of her homies set up like the weakest campaign ever, the weakest fake campaign, just so she could get a win.
Who would that be? Who would that be? What do you think about Harris Kennedy?
Harris Kennedy. Nah, I think Trump Kennedy would have been a lot more likely than Harris Kennedy.
Smart. Yeah.
Harun said, "What's the chances, or even the idea of Kamala voting for?"
I think about that a lot. Like that's when the assassination happened. I was like, the only way that you're gonna get a Democrat in office is if you put Obama as your VP. But that's not happening.
I'm here for Harris Carter.
Obama would want to be. I think Obama still wants to be president. Like, what president doesn't want to stay president? But I don't think that would happen. And I think they probably could do that, right? I think you can make him.
Dude, we are constitutional scholars. Luckily,
I do.
That is people a lot more educated than us to figure out. Okay. Benjamin Rushton said the Mr. Beat video of this election is going to be wild. Yeah, it will. Like, and that's just the election in general, right? Like, that kind of touches on what we were talking about. Which also, man, I remember we were so hyped before. We were talking about how 2028 is going to be like two new faces, no matter what. But if Kamala won 2024, that means that 2028 wouldn't necessarily be the reset that we
God,
were
you just
sort
made me
of
so
that we
depressed.
wanted it to be.
I am depressed now. I'm gonna end this live. We're done with this live, dude. That's so sad. I just realized that it's gonna be bad. And then
I
what
mean,
if Trump
if Trump
loses? And then what if he decided to run? I would not doubt he'd
no,
run in 2028. I know you think. I think.
I think if he runs in 2028, he doesn't get the nomination. I don't think
can
he
agree
does.
with that. I can agree with
I
that.
think the DeSantis type pitch that really failed in 2024 of like, love the guy, but they got too much on him. They just hate him. They will not let him do anything.
That is true.
Would actually work if Trump lost 2024 and tried to run again.
I agree with that. I don't know. There is like a serious, I think we talked about this already. There's like a serious like Trump base that's like a good like 20 or 30% that really works well in a primary, Like that's why he's able to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
So
we got a comment from Jasmine Elizabeth. Kamala needs to pick Shapiro as VP and to be more supportive of Palestine. Shapiro will lock in Pennsylvania, and Palestine can be the issue to decide who wins Michigan. That's 36 electoral votes. Young voters are really fickle and inconsistent. But I do think like Arab American and Muslim American voters is more of the issue in Michigan.
I believe it's like 100,000 votes.
Like my. Wait, I'm sorry?
No, go ahead if you have to say something important. I was just going to bring up like the 100,000.
Oh, no, I was just going to say like
200K.
I like on Israel and Palestine as regards to Kamala Harris, like I don't think I honestly do not think that any other Democratic president would have been as like blindly supportive of Israel as Joe Biden has been. Like I think if Barack Obama or any generic normie Dem were in office right now, they would not have been like as willing to give Netanyahu everything. So I think that Harris like definitely would have more space from the issue.
I think I disagree with that. I think Obama would definitely be like anti-Netanyahu. Like I was watching some documentary on that, but I think any normie Democrat would probably support it. But that's just the difference. But
I don't think to the extent that Biden has. I really don't think to the extent that Biden has.
Why would you say that? I don't really know.
Because Joe Biden's Zionism. Okay, number one, Joe Biden is just 1 million years old, and he still kind of has that Cold War mentality of us versus them. He like throughout his career has been a very self-proclaimed Zionist, very much a supporter of Israel, just throughout everything. And like him being an old man also, which makes people a bit more stubborn and less willing to move on their worldviews, and also just not being as capable as he used to be. So he may have just been less able to negotiate and get the stuff out of Netanyahu that he needed to. Because like at this point right now, it's just a lack of exerting American influence. Like I really do believe that any other Democratic president would have been a lot tougher on Israel.
You made some points. I don't know. I'd have to like. I think it's just something I'd have to see. I definitely think Obama would have been a lot tougher on Netanyahu though, for sure.
We've got Fernando, another friend of the channel, saying
I don't think so. I think it's what did you say? It's a go ahead with that.
Shondaland, it's scandal.
Scandal.
Dude, oh my god, did you see that Aaron Sorkin wrote a really stupid article?
Something corny.
Dude, Aaron Sorkin wrote an article about how he would write this presidential election, and he said, "You know who the Democrats should nominate? You'll never guess."
Should I give me a hint and I'll guess it? Give me some sort of hint.
What hint could I give you? It has to do with the sort of realignment of the parties, I guess, and Democrats kind of absorbing like the Lincoln Party, the Lincoln Project type Republicans. Mitt Romney.
Ugh.
Bro said Mitt Romney.
Oh no. Mitt Romney for the DNC. That would be that'd be gross.
God,
so, weird,
that'd be insane.
Moderate Republican or something? No.
Yeah, I mean, he was sort of arguing like, oh, if this is really about like defending democracy and Trump is like a unique threat, you should show that it's above party lines and that it is more so just about beating. Yeah.
I want to see Aaron
Do you
Sorkin's like.
think the assassination attempt? My bad, man. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're
What'd you
fine.
say?
No, I was just gonna say I want
Uh,
to see Aaron Sorkin's career. It's nothing serious.
okay. Do you think the assassination attempt had any impact on the Biden drop?
Probably.
I
I
don't
think a
know.
lot of I think a lot of Democrats became more nihilistic about his chances after that. That's what I think. But also, there was this thing that they were saying like there is like a certain limit of support that Trump can get. I think it's like, do you remember the number by chance? It's like 43 or 46, something like that. 43,
I
something like
don't.
that.
And what you're talking about, they describe it as he has a high floor, but he has a low ceiling,
Yes, there we go. That's the
right?
perfect
Like
thing. So
that's what they say.
yeah, so that I think, like I said, I
Um,
remember like I think Biden's are just more nihilistic. I mean, not Biden's. Democrats are more nihilistic about his chances, but that's really it. Actually, no, no, no. Go ahead.
if
You guys, you
anything,
want to say something? So you want to say something? So I'll let you
I
go. I have something
think
to say.
the sort of okay. Like I had a conversation the other day with like this electrician that came to my house, and he
Um,
was like a young guy. He was like not that much older than me, and I was just talking to him about politics, and he was like, "Yeah, man, like I voted for Biden because I didn't mess with the racism and the like all the other Trump stuff. Like I don't mess with Trump, but I don't like Biden either. So I think this time, like I'm just not gonna vote." Those are the dudes that decide the election. Like
yeah,
those are
there's just
really
like the
the
10%. There's like this 10% of like voters that are like independent and they sway the elections every time. But and it's weird that he voted though. That's actually kind of interesting. But I was gonna bring up like some I've noticed like online, this is very online, but like a lot of black men are like, oh, Trump's the shit now because he got shot. And there's the 50 Cent thing. And I think that's no, I don't know
man.
if that's an
I don't.
online thing right now.
I think
I don't
that's
think
an
a lot of those.
online thing,
Yeah.
man. Like, well, because it's like the really weird people on Twitter that are be like, Trump got convicted of felonies. He's got multiple baby mamas. He got shot. The black people are gonna vote for him, and that shit is so crazy. And that is so crazy, bro. Like,
All my family right now, they're still voting Democrat. And they're all I think most of them are actually gonna come out to vote. So but yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say that I do think that Harris is going to motivate, like, is gonna motivate more black people to go to the polls, especially. Like, dude, for like this actually is like a really huge thing for black women.
Mm-hmm.
Like the idea that only what like 14 years, yeah, 14 years after the first black president, we have the first black woman nominee. Just
Mm-hmm.
not expected. Like I did not think we were going to see that anytime soon. So I think that's something that a lot of people are going to feel good about, and it's going to motivate people a lot.
That's true. Yeah, I agree with that. I just wonder what's going to happen with the young voters. Because that, yeah, I think what was the Obama coalition? Was it like young voters and then like minorities?
Yeah, young voters, minorities. I think
I'm looking at
the
this.
thing about 2008 is it was like such a change. It was a change election just because people were unsatisfied with Bush. They really wanted to do some sort of progressive optics thing because they were choosing between Hillary and Obama,
Mm-hmm.
which is
That,
so funny because Biden chose the absolute worst election to run in. Like
that is,
Obama runs in '92. I mean, Biden runs in '92. He does a little better, maybe, than he
no
did
one
in
talks about
'08.
John Edwards. That's not someone anyone ever talks about.
Oh,
The
dude, who
next Bill
cares about
Clinton.
John
It's,
Edwards, man?
Pedro, that's an
Isn't that
amazing comment.
the
I'm definitely not going to kill myself after reading that.
dude? That was the John Edwards was the cheated on his wife who had cancer guy, right? Yeah. Crazy, crazy.
Great comment, Pedro. I'm so happy, so excited.
Oh, Vance versus Kamala 2028. Maybe. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like
Vance is not like charismatic, and like he also doesn't like he has the roots of someone that like grew up in like a working class and area, but like he doesn't act like it like at all. And then like his text that he used to send to his friends, like I don't know, he doesn't feel like his policy wise, he seems like the next evolution of Trump, but like personality wise, which is extremely important, I don't think he has it. But we'll see, we'll see. I'm totally down to be proven wrong on that.
yeah, I'm not sure, honestly. Um, I'm gonna skip a couple comments just because we're really behind.
We
We
really
have,
are.
we have a lot of stuff to
Really?
still talk about too. Benjamin said Mitt Romney. Am I right?
No, let's go. And Liz Cheney. There's going to be a war between the
Romney.
Democrats on Liz Cheney versus Mitt Romney. I'm like super excited for that.
Oh, Pedro said, off topic, nice vid on Brazil. Made some insightful comments there. Suggest checking them out. Dude, I read the comments. I'm so sorry. I like sometimes I'm just at work and I don't have time to respond to like very thoughtful, insightful comments because I want to give them like the level of response that they deserve, and I kind of just end up forgetting to get back to them. But I will make sure to go take a look after the stream.
Yeah, it was a great video.
What
is that?
Wait, what just happened to me?
Are you excited that it's Joever, dude?
Apparently, the flagged YouTuber too says Kamala Harris is not black. She's mixed. Same with Obama. I mean, dude, like I I don't know what you like. They identify as black. People could see that.
That goes into how people view race in America, but that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah. Will Faccaroni said, on a positive side, you won't hear 1,000 people saying the debates are completely meaningless every election year. Yeah, this is probably the most impactful debate.
I can't wait. I'm getting my popcorn ready for like Kamala versus Trump debate.
I would say it's the most impactful debate in is it the most maybe not in American history, but definitely in recent American history.
Well, there's the JFK Nixon one. That's pretty big. Clinton,
Carter Reagan is big too.
Carter
Reagan's huge.
I mean, but like, which one like actually like completely swayed it? I still feel like Reagan was gonna win. JFK Nixon. I don't really feel as much as people say that has like had a huge impact. I doubt it because like you remember what they were saying about like how people reacted on the radio versus television, and like how many people had televisions back then, so I don't really know about that. Then you got nobody cares. What about Trump versus Clinton, the first one? That was big because you'd be in jail.
Dude, that was oh my god.
The primary debates had the biggest impact. The primary debates, I would actually say that Trump's primary debates, holy shit! I watched that yesterday. They're so fun. They're so
Trump's primary debates are insane. Trump's just such a showman. Like I was kind of joking with Lily, my girlfriend. I was like, Trump could have been like the greatest drag queen of all time.
He could have. Did you see him on Wendy Williams? Did you see him on Wendy Williams? He had a nice outfit. I didn't like the way it
dude, like the sass, the sort of like telling people off, like that man was made for reality TV.
He should have his own. He should have been a drag queen with his own TV show, just like shitting on other like red carpet dresses.
God. It makes me think of that horrible video of him and Giuliani, where Giuliani's in drag.
Yeah, that was weird.
It's really bad, dude. It's really bad.
They need to play that in ads. It's just a strange thing. And Rudy Giuliani, like pre-2008, like before his presidential run, agreeing to do that is strange.
I don't really understand this comment from the flag YouTuber too. When did Kamala Harris say she identifies as black?
Well, as a black man, I can answer this question. I'm playing. I don't know. When did Kamala?
I mean, dude, she's black and Indian. I don't know what I don't know.
I don't think about it too much, really. It's like they say she's the first African American female, and then the first Asian American female. Like I don't care.
Dude, it's so funny because they couldn't say she was the first racial minority because I think Calvin Coolidge had like a half Native American vice president.
Weird. There's like two. I think we talked about this. Like it's like some like Native American dudes that are like politicians right now that just look white, like the governor of some state right now. I forgot it. Governor of.
I know what you're talking about. Is it Oklahoma? I think it's Oklahoma.
Probably Oklahoma. Let me see. I was thinking. Let's see. Kevin Stint. Yes. Yeah, I was just watching him. I'm like, he's pretty good speaker. And then I searched him up. He's like the first Native American.
Luke Johns is. I think Luke Johns is a recent subscriber and Patreon supporter. So thank you, Luke Johns, for your help. Obama and Romney played a decent part. Yeah, I mean the horses and bayonets line goes hard. Like,
yeah, I don't think it's that important though. But it's so funny to see the contrast. You saw the video of like the contrast between Obama and Romney debate versus Trump and and what's it called, Biden. He's like, "You sucker! Don't ever say that about my son again." And then Obama's like, "Well, happy birthday." Some shit.
That was happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
No. Romney said
that
happy anniversary to
Yeah,
Obama. Yeah. That's so funny, man. I lost my train of thought. Dang.
Dude, it's fine, it's fine. But no, like completely different, completely different.
Will Faccaroni, how do you think future historians would interpret Joe
We have to
Biden
see,
dropping
we have
out
to see
most likely?
post Trump losing or winning. That's really going to help determine how people feel about it. Um, he's accomplished a lot legislatively, like the Infrastructure Act, Inflation Reduction Act, the CHIPS Act, so many things. You can name a million things that he's done. So like that's going to play a lot into how people view Biden. But it's really going to come down to the Trump and the Trump election. But what do you think?
Yeah, like his domestic accomplishments are like like if you're a Democrat, you love them. If you're Republican, you probably don't. But I think you have to say like there is significant legislative accomplishment there. And I think like this is what the last politician video that I have is all about, is like having a president that isn't a Washington outsider and that is actually like a creature of the Senate is really helpful in like getting legislation passed. Yeah, like if you look at LBJ, you look at Joe Biden, just knowing how the Senate works, because the Senate is such a weird institution. I've been reading that Catching the Wind book about Ted Kennedy, which has been, dude, it's been incredible. And it has so many insights in there. Well, because I think Master of the Senate about LBJ is like it's an amazing explanation of the Senate, but it is also how like LBJ uniquely dominated it. And the Ted Kennedy book, I think, is more so about how your average senator, well, not that Ted Kennedy was average, like he did it very well. I think Ted Kennedy's probably like the best version, like the most effective version of a regular senator.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the backslapping, the ass kissing, not to like a LBJ degree, but you know, that sort of stuff. Oh, I didn't really answer this question. My bad, man. My bad. It's the ADHD. Okay. So Kamala Harris loses. I think that there's definitely going to be the sort of, I mean, because what do people think about LBJ dropping out in '68? You know, like,
is that different though?
Hubert Humphrey.
I think because of the Vietnam.
I mean, it's the only other modern example of it, though.
Yeah, that's true. And then
Hubert Humphrey, it is another one where it's the former vice president going up and like taking up the mantle and like being burdened by having been part of that administration. Like Humphrey was haunted by his like position on the Vietnam War. That definitely impacted that election significantly. I think if Kamala wins, Joe's vindicated. I think Joe is just going to be remembered as like, yeah, he did the right thing. Right. If she loses, it might be a little more of a question like, oh, maybe he shouldn't have dropped out. But also he's so old and it's so undeniable that there's some sort of cognitive decline there that it's like, really? You know? Like how much can you rewrite that story?
That is true. Wait, no, I gotta bring this up. I was just watching like the history of Joe Biden, and it's supposed to be like this. It is like this completely unbiased like video on Joe Biden's career. And when it gets to like the 2020s, like every time they clip him, it's like horrible. He's like, well, I don't know. Like every single clip of him past 2020, the 2020 election was just horrible. So I can't wait to see that for the documentaries on
him. Alejandro Garcia said, I just saw a clip of a Dem debate where Tulsi tore up Kamala as a fake progressive. Tulsi's a really funny person to tear someone up for being a fake progressive. I'm not going to lie.
Exactly. Yeah. But I remember that I was like really big into Bernie then. So like to see like I was so anti Kamala, and to see that, that was amazing. But yeah, Tulsi, what is up with Tulsi? You didn't get VP. What are you getting out of your career? Like probably money, probably a lot of money, but I guess that's good enough.
We have some more comments about Kamala Harris's race, I guess. I mean, pandering to African American. I mean,
what is
I don't
like.
And is she a quarter black? Like, I think that kind of gets into a lot of semantics. I don't know.
Yeah,
like I think if people identify you as being something, and that's just commonly known about you, it's going to be part of it. The Flag YouTuber 2 said, what I'm trying to say is Why is she the first black person when she's also Indian if you mix red and blue together? I mean, I think people just sort of have both identities, right? I mean, it's well, number one, it's kind of clunky to be like, she's the first half black, half Indian woman nominated to the presidency.
I will say I do notice like when she did win, they were saying like the first African American VP, the first part Asian. So I don't know.
Yeah, like they were saying all the different things, but I'm not. I mean, I don't really know.
The point is, she's like brown.
I think,
okay, we haven't had a brown as president. Like that's the
mhm.
point. We've never seen that before. We haven't even seen a woman.
What are we doing?
That's crazy.
We have more of the race comments. Would you say Obama wasn't black because he had a white mom? No one would say that. Like no one would say that, dude.
When you look at Obama, you see a black guy. You don't see
like
you know, like, and that's the point. That's the point. If you read something by Obama, like the point is that when you're black in America, when you're half black, that's how people see you. If you go to, you remember Tyler, Tyler.
mhm.
In South Africa, she's considered colored, but here she'd be considered black. And there's like this whole like conversation about that. It's how the country perceives you. That's really what it's about.
Yeah, it's like the thing about, have you ever seen, this is such a removed thing, but J. Cole is mixed race, and he has a brother who I believe is from the same two parents, and his brother just looks like a white guy.
Mm-hmm.
Just like white blonde guy. He's half black, but people don't know, if you just looked at him. Like it's a lot of times it's about appearance and conversations about race. I don't know, like it's weird. Like my dad, I don't know. The older both of them get, the more my dad and Obama look alike.
Your dad, he's like this white dude. I've seen your dad though.
No, like my Obama just looks like my dad, and I think especially coming from a non-American background, like Brazil's just a very racially mixed society. Like most people just kind of look like me. Like I don't know. Like when you get to issues as minute as color, like me and you aren't that different at colors, but like you present as black, and like that sort of just determines the thing. That's why it's so weird when you get into like how do you measure those things, like by hair texture, by skin color. Like I have straighter hair, my sister has curlier hair, so if like one of us had come out like brown with the curlier hair, does that change the perception?
It's all arbitrary, but that's just how it's perceived here. So that's why we say he's the first black president. But I understand. When I was younger, when I was like, and I think you remember that, I would argue with my teacher. He's not the first black president. He's the first mixed president. So I understand where they're coming from. But like, do you remember that? Did I tell you about that back when I was younger?
Oh, I think so. I don't know.
Yeah, I understand where they're coming from, but I disagree with that.
Oh God. Oh wait, no. I'm sorry. I clicked on the wrong question.
Like
I'll be back there. I'll be back there.
Anyway, that's interesting.
Oh wait, I missed another good comment from Luke Johns. Okay,
I'm getting prepared for.
My bad. I keep bouncing. In my opinion, Obama did more overall with policy, but it's only because he had a near supermajority. Comparatively, it's more impressive what Biden did, almost as much legislatively with a lot less support.
Yes, exactly. Obama wasted all his political capital on Obamacare, and then he didn't waste his capital on what's it called again, the Recovery Act, but. Yeah, his major accomplishment was Obamacare, and he had to use executive orders for the rest of things. But go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know he was criticized for the reliance on executive orders, but also when you just can't really work with Congress, it's like,
yeah.
So Luke Johns, the opinion or the question we were supposed to be on, opinion on the comparisons of 2024 to 1968 in general, Kennedy running, unpopular foreign war, Democrat steps down, sketchy Republican.
Sketchy Republican. Great one.
Oh man. Okay, I'm hesitant. I'm hesitant to do one-to-one comparisons, just in general.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like I think, man, there was no assassination attempt of the Republican candidate in '68. There was a successful one in the primary.
There is an RFK, and there was a dude that got shot. There's the comparisons.
I mean, dude. I guess it does get a little closer, I guess, when you look at the fact that Robert Kennedy, once again, challenge the unpopular incumbent who ended up stepping down.
That is, I didn't realize that actually. It's pretty nice.
Mm-hmm. And the vice president picked up the mantle. Unpopular war. Like there are a lot of common comparisons there, but just like number one, like as much as I care about Gaza as an issue, like Israel Palestine just isn't Vietnam. There's no
Yeah,
American
100%.
soldiers being sent over there and dying. You know, like to the extent that there is like a big protest movement, it's not nearly as fervent as sending like our own boys over there to die.
That is true. Yeah,
Um,
I think there are similarities, but I don't know. It's different. The Vietnam War, obviously, like you said, is like the major difference here. I actually thought I was gonna go and talk about that for a while, but the more I think about it, I'm like, whoa, actually, I gotta think about that.
Luke didn't mention DNC in Chicago again, by the way.
Oh yeah, I feel like 2020 had some similarities too. There needs to be more chaos on the streets. You know, there needs to be more like
There
rioting.
needs to be more chaos.
There needs I feel like that's like the big difference. Like there was the civil rights movement. There was the Vietnam War protest. All those things. Well, no, this is 19. Yeah, no. They were still doing
I
this.
think the utter feeling of chaos from the fallout of like both MLK and JFK being assassinated, and then a successful assassination of RFK, just along with all the turmoil in the streets that you're mentioning, is just another chaos factor that I don't
That we
think we
don't have.
can, no matter how crazy things are right now, I don't think we have anything comparable to.
Yeah, there's a lot of like culturally like left things that were happening with the hippie movement and the civil rights movement. And those had giant impacts on the entire landscape. So
Oh my God, we're so behind on the comments again.
that's good. That's a good problem to have. I'm down to answer all of them.
Okay. Will Faccaroni said, how much do you think Trump's attempt to create his own political dynasty is tied to his campaign?
Not much,
Uh,
surprisingly. He
yeah,
came
he
third
doesn't,
Trump 2020.
he likes, I think he would like Ivanka taking that up, but I don't know if how likely she is to. I think Don Jr.
Trump
probably
Jr.
wants it.
Trump Jr. is gonna run. We don't talk about that. Trump Jr. is gonna run one day. It might be
I don't think he'd do that well. I think the charisma is,
You think? I don't think
I,
he's the worst. Obviously he's no Trump. I don't think he's that bad.
I don't know. I think
Aaron
people would be
Trump.
like, "Oh yeah, because his dad," and then they'd see him talk, and they'd be like, "Yeah."
I don't know. The thing is that the primary system, you know, like he's gonna get that 30% that is super loyal. Who do you think Trump's gonna endorse in like Vance versus Trump Jr.? He's gonna most likely do Trump Jr. Obviously. So I don't know. Like I said before, Barron Trump. Let's go, Barron. Can I get some Barron Trump in the chat, please?
Oh, dude, I'm sorry. Before we get to the next question, have you seen that stupid meme that's Barron Trump, and it's like he was there, he saw what they did to his father. I saw that today with like like a photo of Hunter Biden with some cocaine next to him, like that same text.
Dude, oh my god, the Barron Trump like support that you see from like these like older like Gen X people is like the worst thing in the world.
Or from the weird like alt-right guys
I haven't seen
online.
them. I've only seen the Gen X people. They're like,
Dude, they'll put like a picture of him next to like Julius Caesar or like Alexander the Great or something and say they look alike. It's really weird.
that
This
stuff is
dude who I don't think we've ever even heard his voice.
no. And then even PBD was like on his dick, like just like, oh, he's so like oh, just like his father or some shit. Oh my lord, pissed me off.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Haroon. I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong, man. My bad. If Trump wins the presidency, how much of Project 2025 do you think would actually get enacted? As we all know, he's a wild card.
He literally said he doesn't know what the fuck that is. Like he's like,
Man, okay. Like the first administration, personnel is policy. It all depends on who he hires.
Vance would do it. If Vance were president, he'd accomplish that. Trump doesn't care about the administrative state like that. He does
I
not.
mean, do you remember the conversations, like what Christie said about 2016, where he said Trump had offered him VP, and he was like, "Oh, you could run the government. I'll vibe."
Yeah, that's perfect. That's what I mean.
If that's what's going on with Vance, I think we get 2025.
Yeah, that is true. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. That's actually we haven't seen Trump with like someone that is like represents like the new right, you know? You know, Pence was just like old like Reagan conservatism with like with a more Christian what's it called again? Taste or whatever. So yeah, we haven't experimented with that yet, honestly.
Fairy Princess said Kamala might be the first president who's the child of Marxist intellectuals. That's the point of her identity I'm pulling for. Obama's parents seem pretty lefty, right? Or at least his mom. I don't
Not
know much
Marxist.
about him as you do.
Not I don't not Marxist, I don't think. I don't yeah, I don't know. I
Dude,
don't think
his
Obama,
okay.
his mom has the
Look,
vibe
look,
though. It's the vibe that
his mom has the vibe, dude. To be a white lady from Kansas in like the 1950s or 60s and get with this like older African dude
that's crazy.
in Hawaii, like that was absolutely wild for the time,
That's
dude. Like
crazy.
that lady had guts.
Yeah, so she probably has the vibe. I don't know if is Kamala Harris's mom like literally a Marxist. I think
She
so.
might have been. I don't know that much about Harris's background.
They're weirdly similar. Like Obama and Kamala Harris are like weirdly similar. Dude. I gotta check that out though.
Okay. Steve Palpatine, very trusted.
I was just
Very
watching a
trusted.
compilation on Palpatine, so that's such a coincidence.
Yeah, no, we have the honor of being joined by him. I feel like RFK Jr. is more like George Wallace than RFK Sr. I mean, he's definitely not like RFK Sr., I
Yeah,
don't think. He was even endorsed by Wallace's American Independent Party, which still existed in California. I did not know that. That's really interesting.
yeah. I see the point that he's making. I see the
Hmm.
point. So he'd be more likely to take from the Republican Party than anything. It's kind of like the conservatives.
Rhino64 says, will Kennedy remain an independent, or is there any possibility he would try for the Democratic nomination?
There is a
Didn't
chance.
he, dude, didn't he on Twitter a while ago be like, hey guys, nominate me?
There is a real chance that he does. I don't know. We're way too early to like know like if there's gonna be like a Democratic primary where they're really like have a bunch of candidates running. So that is a real possibility.
Yeah.
I would hope not.
Benjamin Rushton, I'm a foreigner. When is the DNC?
When? I don't know.
Ooh, it's real. It's coming up. Well, they were gonna do the early, like, virtual nomination ahead of the actual
They shouldn't do that
DNC.
anymore.
I think,
I can search it up right
man, if
now.
it's July 21st, let me. Oh yeah, either of us could search it up.
Will be held in Chicago, and give me a second. Oh God,
It's August 19th. Oh wow, it's further away than I thought. Okay.
that's good. That's enough time.
Oh no, Luke answered in the comment section, and I just didn't look there. I'm sorry, guys.
Sorry, Luke. But yeah, that's
Jasmine said Don Jr. is a Jeb, not a George.
like that. I like that a lot. Dude, I love watching poor Jeb Bush get like destroyed by like Donald Trump in every debate. It's so funny. We need a modern. Oh no, what happened? Let me leave.
Hey guys, I don't know what happened. Just the stream just kind of crashed. I gotta wait for Kai to come back. Let me see what's going on with him. Sorry guys. Oh, he's back. He's back. Okay.
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, I don't know what happened.
They tried to stop me.
Yeah, the woke mob.
Fight.
Mob. Oh, Don Jr. versus Vance. I would pay. I would
that'd be good.
pay to see Don
That'd be good.
versus Vance. I mean, JD Vance.
I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up being. Vivek gave a pretty good RNC speech. I don't know if you saw it.
No, I didn't.
Very
but there is no white America. There is no black America.
No. Like, no, like actually.
Wait, no way. Okay, if he actually said, I had no idea. Like, I was literally
the exact same sentence, but it was the white America versus black America. Like he brought up those whole things, all those things.
I'm surprised people don't joke about this more. That Kimberly Guilfoyle was married to Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, that's why one of the many reasons I don't like Gavin. No.
Oh my god,
that'd be interesting. Not really. Actually, wouldn't be interesting. I'd be pretty depressed if that happened. Don Jr. versus Gavin.
Yeah. Yellow Schnitzel makes a really good point. Vietnam was the most important talking point in 1968, while Israel-Palestine is, for the majority 100%. Of Americans, not even close. Yeah,
100%.
It's the economy, stupid.
Exactly. And yeah.
Baron Trump, God Emperor of America, 2048.
Dude,
there is some like they want that man to be Paul Atreides.
Yeah, I agree with this. This person understands what's going on in this country. We need this. Not just 2048, 2048 till the end of time. That's what we need right now. He's like 6'7". Like he's gonna make a great leader.
Oh,
I'm just saying shit, dude.
oh my God. JD Vance would be the first millennial president if Trump were to step. Man, I was kind of hoping we would. We're anti-millennial on this channel. We're never supposed to have a anti. We're never supposed to have a millennial president.
Yeah, that's not right. We're gonna get we might get a Gen X president. It's kind of crazy. You remember that whole thing about how like they're gonna skip over the Gen X politicians?
Yeah.
And they're gonna Gen X president.
Luke Johns has a theory that Barron is secretly Dem, or at least apolitical.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Yeah, okay, because he said
Ivanka's weird, dude. Ivanka's really weird. I don't know what's going on with her politics.
Democrat in another world, like she probably would be a Democrat. But yeah, no, it'd be funny though. Barron, I definitely think Barron's a Republican though. In all seriousness, you know.
Oh, Alejandro, I'm sorry. He asked if we have any thoughts on the Mexican election.
What is her name?
I don't know that much about it. I know that
she's like a communist, or like a part of the
no. It was the less progressive one. It was between two ladies, and the less progressive one won.
It's something bomb though. It's something bomb, and I'm pretty sure like Andres is like still like kind of like working with her. So
yeah. Let's see.
It's just farther left. That's really what it is.
Just for a shot in the dark, where do you think the Biden presidential library is?
I don't know if he's joking. Is that a joke?
No, I think he's joking. It's gotta be Delaware. Oh, dude, presidential libraries. Yeah, they gotta disperse them a little bit.
Well, it has
dude. I was talking to Mr. Beat, and I was joking. I was like, "Oh, you live close to so many presidential libraries, right?" And he was like, "Yeah, I don't know. The Eisenhower one's like an hour and a half from where I live." And I was like, "Dude, the closest one to me is Carter, like a 10-hour drive away from here." No, Trump is gonna be in Palm Beach. Trump has to be in Palm Beach.
What if it's Trump Tower, dude? What if that'd be?
It can't be. Cool. He's more Florida, dude. He's more Florida. I don't think it'd be New York.
So hard though. That's like such a power move to have it at Trump Tower. I would low key. I think you should go with
that. Anyone watch the comedic movie?
Yes.
Vice?
We're talking about.
I've seen Vice,
right?
It's supposed to be crazy and accurate, right? Like,
yeah, it's very accurate. I haven't seen it in a while though. I was watching it back when I was like super like on the like fuck George Bush patron. I still am, but when I was like really into the conspiracy theories. But no, it's very inaccurate. It's almost like the dude who directed it, I can't think of his name. I know his name, something with a K in it, but he's very like he's like a more like conspiratorial like Aaron Sorkin, like the way he like kind of tells that story. I don't like it, but great
acting.
Adam
McKay is who Adam McKay. Yeah. So Adam McKay's done some really good work in the past too.
Definitely. But it's entertaining. And the George Bush impression, oh my god, that was amazing.
Oh, Sam Rockwell was really good. And Christian Bale is good in that movie. Yeah. Like that's not his fault.
Yes.
It sucks though when there's like a bit of a wasted performance.
True.
I always say, I know we've talked about this before. James Gandolfini, Tony Soprano, would have been such a good LBJ, man.
Okay, dude, we should have this conversation here, but like we gotta add into these questions. Like we should have that if the questions like slow down, because we could talk about that. We have our own Avengers level like presidential movie castings that we have, and I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts on those.
Awesome. Is this, guys? Me and Akai might start a podcast. that might be a decent thing for us to talk about on there.
Yeah, we should wait for that.
Man, there's like a side conversation that I kind of skimmed over that seems to be very popular about 1968 in the chat right now.
Oh, dude, on 1968. There's some great documentaries on 1968, dude. Like some amazing ones. I need to read a book on it.
Yeah, I've been meaning to make a 1968 video for a long time. Oh, follow up from Alejandro. Claudia Scheinbaum, she's far left. Open secret is that Amala is going to be the back.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of like Lula Juma, or at least the perception of Lula Juma.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this before on live. Like, it's weird that they only have 6-year terms, and that's why I can allow for AMLO to like want to stay on, because he's only had 6 years.
Man, I like 5-year terms. I honestly like 5-year terms. I kind of
1 5-year term or
two. I think 2 5-year terms. Round out a decade.
Yeah.
All the way Bryan Cranston top
James
tier.
Gandalf. Okay, see, like we gotta
Okay.
see the podcast. We gotta have that podcast.
Here's the thing. I will say, for anyone who doesn't know, there's a great movie on Max called All the Way about LBJ. Bryan Cranston plays him. Really, really good. Bryan Cranston is a very good LBJ, but I don't think he has the size. He doesn't have like the physical intimidation that LBJ is supposed to have. And that's not his fault. Like his acting is phenomenal, but he just doesn't have the height and build for it, in my opinion.
You know, I'll disagree with that because, like, yes, he does technically, but like, you know, Bane from The Dark Knight Rises, the dude who plays it is like 5'9". Tom Hardy's like 5'9", and then all they did is put him on like boxes and did a bunch of camera tricks and almost.
How tall? Bryan Cranston's 5'11", so yeah, LBJ's got like 4 or 5 inches on him.
Yo, damn.
Because I think LBJ's taller than Lincoln. I think he's tallest president.
Really? Are you sure?
I think so.
Tallest president?
Yeah, 6'4".
Okay, interesting. I actually thought it'd be LBJ. I mean, not LBJ. I thought it'd be Lincoln. He's been waiting for like his Oscar role. I don't know if you realize that. He's been waiting to get his Oscar role. He will lose the weight to play LBJ if he thinks he can do it.
Does he look weird enough?
He looks.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I guess you could make him.
He's like a brown guy, dude. That's his problem. Like he doesn't look white. And LBJ.
I agree with Seymour Skinner. LBJ was a domestic savant, honestly, but his foreign policy was so fucking whack. I'd probably back Gene McCarthy in 1968. Yeah.
Gene McCarthy. What was Gene McCarthy again?
Eugene McCarthy, he was the anti-war candidate.
Oh,
he was in there.
Yeah.
He was in there before Bobby Kennedy was, and then all the Gene McCarthy fans were like, "Oh, Bobby Kennedy, he's just being opportunist."
Yeah. I don't know. It's like that war that, you know, there's just like this long ass fucking documentary on PBS called The Vietnam War, and you know the whole complications of that. Like the whole situation was fucked. It's just a fuck situation.
Wait, no way. Luke Johns is saying Obama's not
the tallest.
He's not. There's no way, man.
6'1".
It says he's 6'2" online. I don't think Obama's taller than LBJ.
Because you know they changed their heights, dude. All their heights.
Yeah, Obama. Okay. It's funny because Obama and Trump are like the exact same height, and Trump puts himself down at 6'3", I think.
Whatever height you see online, subtracted by like an inch or two, and that's their real height.
Yeah, I don't think Obama can't be that.
I know for a fact. I remember I was looking at it. I think like Jimmy Carter's like 5'9", Obama 6 something, Bill Clinton 6'2". I know for a fact Bill Clinton was taller in his prime.
What are your thoughts on the fact you still have to be born in the 80s to run for the presidency in this day and age? I don't think anyone younger than 35 should be president.
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. Coming from two people in their 20s, I don't think someone younger than 35.
That'd be so scary if some 20-year-old can run for president. No.
Oh.
Mr. Beast.
Will Faccaroni says, how much do you think Trump would realistically implement of his proposed immigration policy? Man,
he's gonna lose the House.
It depends. Okay, it depends because personnel is policy, and for the first Trump administration, he was just so bad at personnel. Like, it depends on whether or not Trump is able to get an effective team in there. Because the first Trump administration, like, love him or hate him, it was just a mess.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I kind of agree with everything you said there. We'll see how much Vance, and that goes back to that Vance thing. Like how much if Vance plays a large role, like then yeah, he'll probably get a lot done.
Yeah. Well, Faccaroni said thoughts on the upcoming Reagan movie. No, I think they just dropped a trailer. No, with Dennis Quaid.
Someone went to the movie theater. I think that's how I met some like Democratic like fucking organizer.
Wait, Reagan's played by Dennis Quaid in this movie. I don't know if you guys know, but there's a really obscure, like young LBJ TV movie from like the 1970s where Randy Quaid, Dennis Quaid's brother, plays Lyndon Johnson. And I think Patti LuPone, the Broadway actress, is Lady Bird in it. It's really weird. It's really strange.
That's interesting.
But yeah, I don't know that much about the Reagan movie.
I've seen trailers for it. It looks interesting, but
I'd be interested to watch it. Is the team behind it are they non-ideological? Are they liberal?
No,
are they conservative?
they're definitely pro Reagan. It's not like some like
Oh yeah. Oh, John Voight's in it. John Voight's a huge
yeah,
Republican, right? Yeah.
but it doesn't look that bad. It looks like all
Yeah, I
right.
mean, it's only like you have to keep the ideology in mind. Like Vice could have been a really different movie if it was made by someone from a different ideology.
You know, it's so funny. We don't talk about this. Like George Bush is a young guy, or not young, but he's not like super old, and he's not at the RNC. That is crazy.
Yeah, because dude, he votes. He writes in like Jet. Oh no, he wrote in
Oh, the
Condoleezza
Condoleezza
Rice in
Rice.
2016, I think,
You said what?
and then he wrote in Condoleezza Rice,
Yeah.
and then I think when I saw him live this year, he made a joke. He's like, "This year I'll write in Jeb or somebody." Like, he literally said that, and I was it was so funny, bro.
Yeah, that's so depressing on his side. Like the RNC doesn't even recognize you anymore.
I mean, because dude, it's like it's George Bush. Come on, I don't blame him. But they have Amber Rose, but not the former like living
That is
Republican
crazy.
president.
That is crazy.
Or Orochimaru said, "Us 5'11" kings stay up. LBJ was 6'4" though, so someone else could have been more intimidating physically."
Like I said, they could have put him
Yeah,
on some shoe boxes or something.
dude. When I posted that picture with Mr. B, I don't know if I just looked shorter or what, but people were like, "Did not know Andre was that tall.
How
Did
old
not
is
know Andre was that tall."
wait, how tall are you?
I'm like 6'2",
And how tall is
6'2" ish.
Mr. B? I don't know. I just pictured
Probably
Mr.
like
B.
five, maybe like 5'10".
Yeah, that's how I
I already
pictured him.
guess.
I don't really picture. I never really picture Mr. B being like
Yeah, like
six.
he's not a short guy. Like he's definitely tall by most standards, but I guess I'm just like a taller person, and people might not have expected that.
You're Bill Clinton height. Oh my
Palpatine says on
Yes.
economic and social issues, JD Vance is just George Wallace without the racism. Yeah, George Wallace was very populist.
I think JD Vance is a lot more like smarter. Like I've like I said, I've watched and read a lot about him. I've even read like Hillbilly Elegy. He's definitely a different kind of conservative. He's
Mm.
a lot more willing to like spend money on like social programs. Like he's actually pro like welfare state, a conservative welfare state. But I think he's very different. I think
Yeah.
he's unique.
Yeah, I think he's become more of a standard Republican since joining the Senate, so I'd be interested in seeing what happens.
I think that's more just culturally, like he knows what to say. I really do think that like a President Vance would be I think he would actually really fully make like the Trump era its own thing. You remember that conversation we're having? I feel like the assassination and the Vance thing is definitely helping with that whole argument. I should put more context behind that. Oh, you have a lot to say on that.
Moto. Thoughts on Gary Oldman's Harry Truman and Oppenheimer? Worst part of the movie. Love Oppenheimer. Like that is not Harry Truman, dude. That is not. And I love Gary Oldman. I don't get what was going on in that movie.
I still haven't seen Oppenheimer, so I have nothing to say. Sadly, I will watch it.
Oh, that's crazy.
Remember, I was in basic training.
Seymour Skinner says Eugene McCarthy was a true candidate of the silent majority, taking American for the anti-youth vote. Man, I just read that Almost President book, and it talked a lot about George McGovern and how George McGovern was just so let down by the youth turnout.
Yeah,
It was like the first election where 18-year-olds could vote and they just didn't show up, and it was like 50-50 between Republicans and Democrats. It was just completely let down. Like, I wish it wasn't true, but young people just are not, they're just not very consistent voters.
yeah, they were definitely a weird group. Have you been Well, I came across a video comparing.
There's no Putin cannot wait. Okay. Let me see Putin next to Lula.
Biden is not.
No, I don't think Biden's 5'7" either. I'm trying to see.
And Putin's like 5'5".
Wait, Lula's taller than Putin. Yeah,
Really?
Lula's 5'5". Lula's 5'5", and he's taller than Putin.
You know why? It's because Lula is fat. Or not fat, he's chubby.
No, dude, he's tall. He's tall. I mean, he's not tall, but he's tall.
Lula officially tall. Oh shit,
dude, he's taller than Putin by a little bit. Jeez,
and that's
I don't think Biden's 5'7" though.
Obama's. I mean, no, not Obama. Biden's definitely like 5'10", 5'11", probably even 6 foot. He's probably like 6 foot.
Seymour Skinner says, "What election do you think had the highest candidate quality?"
That's a great question.
That's an amazing question.
Okay. Okay, so you got Obama, Romney. Romney is a governor. Obama's president at that point, senator.
Ooh, I'm going older. I'm thinking.
Teddy Roosevelt, Taft.
I think FDR Wendell Willkie is a really good one.
I don't know shit about Wendell Willkie, dude. I don't know
Oh
anything.
man, FDR put him in his administration after he lost. That's
Really?
how like
I don't
competent he
even know about
was. Yeah. Or at least
that.
I'm pretty sure he did. Or he might have wanted to, but Wendell Willkie died too soon after the
Yeah,
election,
he died
maybe.
in 1944 in October 8th, so he's probably yeah.
Yeah.
He was only a lawyer though. No, I'm not
Oh,
even
I,
that.
I
Wait, what
like
was the
Wendell
question
Willkie.
again?
I think. What election do you think had the highest candidate
I'm
quality?
thinking experience. That's what I'm thinking when I look at this
Oh, you're
question.
thinking experience. I was thinking just like like the how much you like both candidates.
If that's the question,
Um,
it's a different answer for me then.
well, in terms of experience,
Trump Biden for
ooh.
sure. Um,
I mean, Biden's got. Hey, between the two of them, there's like 40 years of political experience.
that is true. George
Oh,
Herbert Walker Bush and
George
no,
H.W. Bush is, but
he's
he
a,
ran
he's a
against
great man.
Dukakis. Dukakis was the governor. Maybe Bush Clinton. Bush
That's
Clinton.
what I'm thinking. H.W. Bush and Clinton,
Yeah.
dude. I can go on with that question for a long time if you want, but I assume you have a bunch.
Real. I didn't know this about Biden. Started out as a McCarthy '68 volunteer.
Really,
I know
I
that
did not know that.
Hillary Clinton was a Goldwater volunteer. She
Yeah,
was
that's interesting.
they
She's
called
young now.
them Goldwater girls.
Yeah, that. Yeah, I remember that. Apparently, Biden. Oh, that's the same question. That's interesting.
Um, I think it costs about 15,000 to deport one person, so he's just not going to be able to deport 20 million like he's.
That I never thought was gonna happen. I was
Dude,
thinking
I
more
mean,
border wall, more like
yeah,
e-verify.
I don't think deportation's very popular just in
Oh
general.
yeah,
Like I think it sounds good to like a certain group of people, like it gets them motivated, but I don't think it really.
that sucks that that's like the main motivation. It's just like deport all these people. Like it's kind of messed up, but whatever.
Ooh, he could start deporting the U.S. born children of legal immigrants. I don't see that
Right.
happening at all.
Yeah,
I
no.
think that
First off,
like that
spoilers.
is crazy.
Like
That would be that would actually have like zero support. There's no
yeah,
way.
like it was weird. Like he was using DACA as like a way to like get his border wall passed. I'm like, dude, that's horrible.
Hmm.
So yeah, no, I just
Um,
completely.
imagine having such bad vibes they don't invite you to that. Is it the vibes? I'd
It's
say if
really politics.
anything, the George Bush's vibes are the best thing about him.
Yeah,
That's why he won. It's
such
the
an
whole
interesting alternate
have a
history where it's
beer.
Trump and Bush shaking hands and hugging each other. Like, oh, that's such an interesting world. But no, it's definitely just yeah.
Uh, McCain wrote in Lindsey Graham. HW voted Hillary and Colin Powell backed Democrat and Colin Powell backed
What?
Democrats since Obama in '08. I think.
I did
Yeah,
not know
I heard
this.
about HW voting Hillary
That's
and
I never knew that.
Colin Powell backed Democrats. I didn't. Lindsey Graham is such a funny person to run in to write in.
Dude, you remember that? You remember the ladybug thing I told you about? I
No,
won't, I
I
won't
was
bring that
thinking
up.
about that. I was like, we can't bring that up on the
Okay.
stream.
We kind of can, but if
Just
anyone's
guys,
interested,
don't look up Lindsey Graham ladybugs. Just
yes,
don't do it.
don't do it.
Don't do
Don't.
it.
But yeah, no, that's real.
What happened to Bush era conservatives? They're
Trump killed
Democrats
them.
now.
Yeah. Oh, God, my cat's coming around. No,
No, the Bush era conservatives became the Lincoln Project. Unless you're like a Lindsey Graham and you're just kind of hanging around.
that
But
is true.
the sort of realignment of like professional class, like college educated voters are more so Democratic now, like the country club conservatives.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the ones that are in like southern places like are actually Trump people now. They have to. They have no choice.
Mitt Romney writing in his wife is crazy. What? Did that actually happen?
You know
That's
why?
insane if it did.
I don't know if that's true, but I believe them. You know why? It's probably because you remember when Obama was like, Mitt Romney's going to put you back in chains. You know, he said that to black voters, right?
Oh, dude. Okay, this is actually some. So This is, I believe, in reference to JD Vance being Wallace without the racism, and then Fairy Princess said, "Without racism, sure, buddy." Um, JD Vance's wife and his kids I've seen so many weird like racist tweets at them, dude.
Nick
It's
Fuentes, what he says.
really bad, man. Like there's like the one girl who's like he's married to a brown.
That's what I'm
That's
saying. And that also goes to, like,
crazy, bro.
culturally, like he's not like really a part of that. That like not that like all
Oh,
Republicans are racist or anything,
yo,
but like
Indian Americans are having a moment right now for
Nikki
being
Haley's back.
like such a smaller like Kamala. Like for
Oh,
being such
Kamala,
a
yeah, Kamala.
smaller percentage of the population, they're really having a moment right now.
That is true. When are the Asian, not Asian, the like Chinese? When are the Chinese Americans gonna have their moment?
Uh,
Are
dang,
there
is
any
it just
Chinese
been
like?
Yang?
Oh,
Has it
Yang.
has Yang been the only like East Asian like major contender?
Oh,
He's the only one I can think of.
the only person I can think of that exists is like, is Elaine Chao even
Or I guess
Chinese?
Obama spent some time in Indonesia.
Obama's everywhere. It's also a Kenyan.
Luke Johns, JD is more progressive on economics issues, but way more conservative
Yes.
on social issues than the average GOP member.
And my thing is he even really that conservative on? Like he is conservative on certain things.
Ah,
Definitely like marriage. Oh, I'm gonna have to get my cat. I'm gonna come back in a second. I'm just gonna turn off my camera for a second.
you're good.
Come on
You're
now,
good.
dude.
Man, I think Vance is more conservative on the issues that are really going to count, especially abortion. Like that is going to be huge. Like I've already seen a bunch of conversations around that, and I think that's probably Vance's biggest liability as a vice presidential choice. Let's see what's going on.
All right, back.
Dude, if the assassination attempt killed Trump, that would be the darkest timeline.
Yeah.
Like I am so glad that didn't happen, both for the obvious reason that murder is bad, and like I don't want anyone to be murdered, and also just the ramifications it would have for this country would actually be horrible.
Who would rise out of that? Because he doesn't have a VP.
I mean, I think they probably would have come out that like he had decided on Vance already or something, right?
I think Vance was like last minute, honestly.
You think so?
Oh, actually, no, don't.
Dude, I think there would have been like rioting in the streets if Trump had been killed. Like I think it would have gotten really, really bad.
Yeah, you're right. And then Biden. I wonder if Biden stays in. Either be DeSantis or Trump Jr.
We kind of talked about this earlier, but I guess not from the perspective of like getting a VP for the working class. I think just random like Rust Belt, random Rust Belt candidate probably.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't.
I think as much as I would love to see like a Tim Walz, it's not going to be Tim Walz.
It could. Cooper would be cool. Hey, I feel like I read this wrong. Yeah. I think I don't know if it's specifically for working class, but the Cooper's the best choice. Cooper, and I think Walz is not bad right now. I got to look more at Walz, but he'd be pretty good. I would actually, you know what? He'd be my choice. Not my choice for like political reasons, but for just like he'd probably make a great president.
Oh, okay. We just got killed. Yellow Schnitzel said the first real election.
I was gonna I was gonna say that. I swear to God, I was gonna say there's probably like some like early election between like the two founding fathers that we're missing out on. But then you went to the next question, so I'm
sorry.
I was gonna say
okay.
Something like that. I didn't know who.
I will say that is a consequence of, I don't know about you, but of my like focus being very, very like 20th century politics.
Yeah.
Like I know so much more about like post-World War, like post-war America than anything else. And that's like it's a weak spot I've been trying to improve upon, but I just gotta get better at that because that did not come to mind.
I did know about this one specifically, but also like my knowledge on those times are like not as good as they need to be.
Let's see. Seymour said Hillary Clinton was actually a Goldwater supporter, then voted G. McCarthy, and from there floated with voting for John Lindsay, George McGovern, Ed Muskie. Biden was a strong Ed Muskie supporter.
The hell is John Lindsay? Don't know who that is.
John Lindsay was one of those third party ones, wasn't he?
I've never heard of John Lindsay before. It's interesting.
Let me look him up. Hold on.
I feel like I know.
He was mayor of New York. and he made a campaign for the presidency.
Dude, I've been so interested in like New York mayors recently. That's interesting.
Akai loves mayors, guys. Like he has this interest in mayors that I definitely do
Dude,
not.
mayors are awesome.
Okay, we gotta catch up on these comments a little
Wait,
bit so we can
we
speed
still
through the
like
next
behind.
couple. Yeah, we're way behind. Trump actually has
Yes,
publicly stated he wants to take away birthright citizenship, and even
he
said he
did.
wants to begin. Yeah, he said that, but is he going to do it?
I don't think so.
Trump says so much, dude. Like the unconstitutionality of that, like that is insane. To the idea of taking away birthright citizenship.
It's
Just
such a horrible
I.
choice. Dude. Such a horrible. Sorry, like I hate it. Like Jesus Christ.
And oh no. Especially if denaturalization means taking citizenship away, that is the most unconstitutional shit I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I feel like my tone in the live streams, especially when I'm talking to you, is so different from my tone in the video.
You're definitely a lot more like. Actually, I don't want to like. I'm gonna do like a cadence, but it's not gonna come out right, so I'm not gonna.
Dude, no, it's okay. I'm like I think just in general, I'm a pretty big code switcher.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like a lack of authenticity. I think I just really adapt to the people that I'm talking to. Like with you, I can just talk with like a friend. When I'm writing a script, I try to make it like pretty. I try to like be like a clear speaker, and I'm not just saying dude and bro and all the time.
No, I agree. I would be horrible. I'd sound completely different if I made YouTube videos. Hey guys, welcome to my channel.
Hey Adutra. I don't think anyone's on here ever just call me Dutra. Hey Adutra, do you think a possible Kamala Harris president with Michelle as VP could beat Trump? Man, I'm so hesitant to talk about Michelle Obama in any sort of like election thing, just because she's never gonna do it. Like I keep having arguments with my dad about this. My dad's like, "Oh, Michelle Obama's polling really high," and I'm like, "Dude, that is a fantasy.
I wish
like that is a complete fantasy." And I was trying to explain it to him. I was like, "Hey, Hillary Clinton was really, really involved with Clinton's Oval Office. Like she was in those cabinet meetings. She was making decisions with him. Like she had been a political player their entire lives. She ran for Senate while still being First Lady, served in the Senate, ran for president in 08, like served as Secretary of State. Michelle Obama ain't doing none of that."
Yeah, she was like, Obama not to run actually.
Yeah, like she's not interested in it. Like could Kamala Harris and Michelle, I think Michelle Obama as VP would be a weird choice. I think if Michelle was in it, she'd be top of the ticket.
Yeah, definitely. Oh no! Out of all the people I wanted to search it up, it's not you, Steve. I'm sorry. Out of all the people, it'd be really funny if like we had 50 viewers and then it just goes down to 49 while he was looking. Ladybug. The whole chat's gonna go look at it now.
Oh my god!
I just know how he thinks that not little ladybugs or something like that. Sorry, Steve. You deserve better, man. You deserve a lot better.
Oh my god. Swam said not just Indian Americans, but all Indians. I mean, look at Rishi.
That is true. Yeah. Rishi and then Modi doesn't count because Modi's. like Modi for Indians right now.
I saw Modi. I don't know if Modi and Rishi had some sort of like special relationship or anything, but I saw Modi tweet like no, but I saw Modi like tweet out after Rishi got defeated, being like, oh, he was a good leader and blah blah blah.
Yeah, no, I definitely see that. Poor Rishi. Rishi's also an idiot.
It would have been funny if Yang won, given that he's Taiwanese and Americans. Confusing position on China versus Taiwan and how China would have reacted. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, like how China would react to a Taiwanese American president.
What is Andrew Yang? I gotta search up Andrew Yang's like policy towards China. I don't see him making a big deal about it ever. I never see him. He's more automation focused.
The extent towards the Andrew Yang hype and just his general profile just went absolutely nowhere.
Yeah, he just makes a lot of poor decisions. Third party was the forward party. It's like the perfect time for the forward party to be winning right now, but it's still stupid.
I don't know if I agree with this. Trump died. We get Don Jr. Doug Burgum.
I don't think it wouldn't. That's probably Don Jr. JD Vance because, like I said, Junior is the one who tried to get Vance to be there, so it'd be probably Junior Vance. Junior Vance, not even Trump Jr. It's Junior
Oh
Vance.
my god. Okay, I'm gonna scroll through some of these comments, guys, because I am so behind. I'm so sorry.
Oh, what if they're really great? I feel like we might miss out on like one really great one.
Okay, I'll look through. I'll look through.
I was just talking
Um,
about. I don't know. But yeah, definitely be Junior Vance.
let's
What if it's just all
see.
just talking about the ladybugs? That's what every comment
Oh,
is.
I wait. I no. Fairy Princess said, "Bro has
Oh
the
no,
video
I don't.
essay
You kind of do,
accent."
Loki. You kind of do, and you're doing those videos.
Man, I don't know. I don't. Okay, I do think like, and this is like something I sort of have trouble with because I think I have two types of videos. Right. Like I have the more documentary type videos where something like a civil rights president or like the FDR video I made where it is less personality driven and it is more so just what I'm writing. I'm on camera less. Like the music is more serious, you know. And then there's the last video I did was much more casual. Like the music is a little more upbeat. It has my face in it more. There's a lot less editing, which which is always nice. So I don't know. I struggle between going between those two because sometimes I'll be making the documentary type videos and I'm like, man, I really wish I had more of my personality in it. But
That's
then I
videos.
when I
The
make
only
them more. Oh,
no,
wait,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
I was gonna say those are hard to do with those kinds of videos, and it's probably best that you don't sometimes.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying is like it's a difficult balance to strike. But
I kind of agree with Princess though. Not kind of. I agree with her.
yeah, I mean, hey, dude, it's narration. It's hard. Like
Narration's hard.
it's a very difficult skill, and it's a lot of practice. And I think I got a lot better at it, but I could definitely still have a lot of room for improvement.
Yeah, definitely agree.
Let's see. I guess on topic, Sheev Palpatine said, "I feel like many young Zoomers in Gen Alpha are starting to develop a distinct accent." I'm curious what you mean by
Just
that.
saying, pal. I'm trying to do that transatlantic impression. Can't
What are you
do it.
saying, pal? Oh,
But yeah, definitely like on TikTok, there's definitely like a voice. I can't
or like,
exactly explain it. I don't think we have it right now. We're not doing any of that, but I
I
definitely
don't
see what
think so. I mean, there's the like sort of TikTok mannerisms people do, like the
baby done and and baby Gronk.
what is that? That's so weird.
Yeah,
I always
that's
wonder what. Um, if Trump died, we would have seen more. Please save me, Donald
please,
Trump.
Donald Trump, please, and everything would be a sign. You'd look
Dude,
at a pancake and have
I'm
like his
sorry.
hair, and it'd be like, oh my
Dude,
god.
okay, I'm so sorry. Biden is gonna pardon Hunter. Like Biden is pardoning Hunter. I'm sorry. Bill Clinton pardoned Billy. Biden's pardoning Hunter is how it works. Trump pardoned Lil
Trump's
Wayne and
smiling.
Kodak Black. Like it's
That's funny as hell to think about. Yeah, he probably will. I kind of.
Harris's best choice, I think,
Hey,
is
I
Roy
like the Swiss
Cooper.
team.
Then MAGA Hitler, Mark
Well,
Robinson becomes acting
well,
governor.
yeah. Does it really work like that? I'm from North Carolina, so I should be
Uh,
able to speak on this.
it. I forgot that Mark Robinson's the current
Yeah, he's
lieutenant
the
governor.
lieutenant governor. Yeah,
Man.
they should. There's some politicking. There's something they can do to prevent that. Like, who cares what the rule says on that? You can find something. He can still
Mhm.
technically be governing. I'm pretty sure being governor isn't like you have to be there every single time. I think it'll be
Yeah.
fine. But he does have a
Oh
point.
no. Orochimaru, Google ladybugs. No.
No, so I'm just infecting the whole chat.
I'm sorry, guys. I told you not to Google it. To be fair. If Trump dies in this term, JD would definitely run in 28. Yeah.
Oh.
I. I mean, I
Yeah, yeah.
Trump dying as president would be crazy. That would be insane. I don't.
Would he die? He seems very healthy for like a fat dude who only eats McDonald's and Diet Coke.
I mean, I think his vibe is just young.
Yeah.
Fun fact: when Harry Truman visited Brazil, he had then President Euricio Dutra, or is his
His
name
son was
Eurico? I think it's Eurico Dutra. How do you do, Dutra? Dutra himself didn't speak English. He thought it was a joke and answered, "How true you true, Truman." I didn't know that. That's funny. Wait, there's a. Oh my God.
I didn't know there was like a
I
Dutra president.
do you got? Oh yeah, there's a President Dutra. Do you guys know Pelé, the Brazilian soccer player? There is this photo of him with Bobby Kennedy that I love. from, or actually, I'm going to tell you guys to Google it. I'm not going to show it because I would go on a tangent and we get even further behind on the questions. But there's a picture of Bobby Kennedy like visiting the Brazilian men's soccer team, and Pelé was in the shower. And there's just shirtless Pelé, like wrapped in a towel with soap covering his body, shaking hands with Bobby Kennedy. And Bobby Kennedy's like,
I gotta see Bobby Kennedy. Bobby
that's
Kennedy,
really random.
the guy. I'm gonna search that up real quick.
Let's see. Luke Johns asked, "Are you familiar with Enrique Lott?" I'm not.
Enrique Lott. I'll search that up.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Former minister. Okay, this is Brazilian stuff, so I don't think they would expect.
Oh, Henrique Lott. Oh no, I do not know who that is. I'd have to check. I need to know more about Brazilian history. I'm sorry, guys.
Is Luke Brazilian?
Who?
I said, is he Brazilian? Is Luke Brazilian? I guess so. He knows that.
No, I don't think Luke's. At least Luke Johns isn't a very Brazilian name.
Yeah, it's probably
not. Seymour said, "I'm not sure if he lives long enough or has the juice to go again. 2028. I see DeSantis.
DeSantis doesn't have charisma, dude. I'm sorry.
See, and DeSantis is popular right now.
Yeah,
like politics goes so fast. 2028 is 4 years from now. I don't know.
You see his speech? Like he really does look like Meatball Ron, dude. I've seen Ron DeSantis in person. He's like more fat than you would think. Like he's wide. It's really weird.
Yeah, I mean, he's like Ozempic Ron now.
Wait, but yeah, no, Ron. I don't think Ron has. I never thought that's my claim to fame. I remember saying, you remember back in like 2021, I'm like Ron, and I was thinking this before. Like Ron DeSantis will not be president. He does not have the charisma to do it at all.
I remember back when it was just him versus Gillum. I was just like, oh yeah, Gillum, and like the boring guy he's running against.
Trump was like, oh, we beat Gillum, and he would have been the next black president or the next president. He said that, right? I just saw it recently. It was crazy.
Which, given what we know about Gillum now, would have been crazy.
I would not have worked.
Jasmine says, honestly, now that Biden is trying to get reelected, I think he probably will pardon Hunter. Yeah.
That's gonna ruin the whole sad guy leaving office thing if he pardons Biden. I mean, Hunter.
Hey man, it's better than pardoning yourself, like some people claim they can do.
Yeah, that is true.
North Carolina law says if Cooper's out of state, lieutenant becomes governor. I think
that's actually good for Josh Stein, though. Sorry, you don't know. Josh Stein is the guy that's running against Mark Robinson right now, so that's actually good. So they'll be like, oh, he's out of state. Oh no, he's in office. We can't allow this. That's actually really great. Politics running against him.
I was gonna say before the stream we were talking about like the North Carolina, whether it's gonna go red or blue, and I didn't even think about Mark Robinson. I think Mark Robinson might make it go blue. Like is more likely to make it go blue. If you guys aren't familiar with Mark Robinson, he's this like really, really right. I think someone earlier called him right-wing Hitler or right-wing Republican Hitler.
Black
dude. Was it Black Hitler? It might have been Black Hitler.
Like Black Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's what I would say.
Dude, he has some really weird comments. Like even if like you're like super Trump supporter, like Mark Robinson is like way out there, even for.
Yeah, no, for sure. He says doesn't think women should like vote. Very, very anti-abortion. Like a hard line on that. He's definitely crazy. It's pretty interesting.
Okay, we haven't been talking about the main topic of this ring, so I guess we'll circle back to it. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on Kamala winning in 2024? I know this election's getting crazy. When I get 2 calls from a friend who I barely see anymore. Dude, my friend who's been in Europe for like 6 months now, he's just chilling in Poland right now. He texts me and he's like, "Fuck today."
I don't know. It's a broad question. I think it's too early to say. Sadly, like we just don't. I think she has.
I think Trump is the favorite, but not by as much as people are saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. We need to say we have 4 months to go. We have so much that can happen within within that time. Let's see what Pete Buttigieg does. Is he gonna like support her like out the gate, or is he gonna like?
Oh, dude, he has to. How important do you think Joe Biden was in the Biden administration?
Towards the end,
pretty important.
I think towards the
Yeah,
end it's important, but not for the first like 2 years. The first 2 years, I think Biden was really in control.
I mean, people
Despite
are making the Woodrow Wilson comparison.
yeah, it was about to get that bad. It probably is that bad right now. But I think she's only now having like a lot of power.
Yeah. Let's see. Luke John said, I only know about Locke because of political YouTube. Dude was a general, one of the last people trying to prevent the dictatorship in Brazil. It was just an interesting story. Yeah, that's cool. I gotta check it out.
Yeah, I'll check that out.
Haroon said, do you think Jimmy Carter's gonna make it to 100? Man, I really don't. I'd rather not speculate on that. I don't know. Something about it just feels icky. It just, when I was making that Carter video, I was like, God, now would be a really bad time for him to go.
Not that serious though.
I mean, no, but I don't want to, dude. No, I was like, I don't want to, like, dude. When Johnny Harris, when Henry Kissinger died, Johnny Harris had a video ready.
Yeah,
like, dude had a video ready to go, and I was like, that's weird, man.
Yeah,
that's weird. Like, I think it's okay if like someone passes and you sort of like reflect on their life and stuff like that. But like that man had a script. That dude was ready to go. Like that's a little weird. I don't like that personally.
Well, I hope Jimmy Carter makes it. I hope so.
I mean,
he's not there. He's not there. He's not.
Yeah, like his wife passed, man, and he's just like, if it's, like, as cool as it is to be like, oh, I want Jimmy Carter to make it to 100, like, if it, like, I hope he goes when he's comfortable.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Seymour said, I think North Carolina is like Republican Nevada. I think it will always be like 0.1 in favor of the Joe P. Same way Nevada stays fairly in line with Democrats, even though it's a slender majority.
Did Nevada, how did Nevada vote in 2008? That's a good question.
Ooh.
Obama, McCain, 2008. I should have just put McCain. I mean, I should have just put 2008 election. That means a lot. Nevada, yeah, I mean, Nevada voted for Democrats. Yeah, and then it went to Democrats again, and then went to Democrats again, and with Clinton, surprisingly. Am I reading this right?
Nevada's been blue the last, like, every election recently.
Yeah. Okay.
When was the last time Nevada went red?
It doesn't seem like it's been any time recent. In this case, you got us like 2004 or 1984. Yeah, it went to
2004
in 2000, and then in 04, and then
2004 he won it by like 1.5 points.
And then
Clinton won it twice though.
Yeah, HW got it. Of course, Reagan's ass got it. What didn't Reagan get?
Weaver some candidate named Weaver won it in 1892.
Weaver. The fuck is that?
I have no idea.
You guys, I'm being introduced to like so many like random like third party candidates that I didn't know about. I know Wallace.
Dude, the Almost President book is really, really good. Really recommend you check it out.
I'll read that right now. I gotta actually commit to Master of the Senate. That's something that's important. Let me see.
Yeah, dude. I have so many, like, I've actually been reading through the book recommendations that people gave me on the video I made about the best presidential books, and it's been great. I love like a 10-hour audiobook, like a 10 to 15-hour audiobook is the perfect length. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm loving the Ted Kennedy book I'm listening to right now, but it's like almost 40 hours, I think. Yeah. And it is nice to just kind of kick something, like just get through something really quick, and you just listen to it a lot for a week and you're done. So if people have more like 10 to 15-hour
If anyone has a book on like each like presidential cabinet, that would be amazing. I've been looking for that.
Oh, that's cool. I pushed it in that video, and I'll push it till the day that I die. The Gatekeepers, the White House Chief of Staff book, incredible. Mm-hmm. Really, really recommend that to anybody. Let's see. Oh, Buttigieg endorsed Harris like an hour ago.
Okay, good. I thought it's not that crazy. It would be crazy if he did though. Yeah, when is Obama going to do it, though? That's the question.
I don't know. The Astro, we talked about this a little bit earlier. Vlogging through history, he said the recent debate is the most consequential in U.S. history. Do you agree? Not
Really?
necessarily.
I mean, technically,
Uh,
because the dude
well,
just
okay. It got a sitting president to sit down,
yeah.
like to sit down, which is huge. But also, if a debate has like determined, or well, I guess it's
I
more
mean,
outright. Like it was straight up the debate that completely changed the tone.
yeah.
Maybe, but
I
let's see where
I,
time goes.
I agree with that statement. I definitely think
Mm,
so.
it's a lot more consequential if Harris wins. I will
Yeah,
say. Like
but
if
even
it's a
then, like
Trump victory, I
Biden
don't think
stepping
it's as
down is pretty
consequential.
major. I don't know. I kind of agree with the statement. I'd never heard of that channel though.
Wilson kind of overhated. Shout out to Cynical Historian.
Yeah,
There's
he tagged me
two
in that too.
videos absolutely destroying Woodrow Wilson. He was really bigoted, but he also had very strong progressive agenda with trust busting and establishing liberalism internationally. My one weird take. I would say it
I was
was a progressive era. Like I think that it was just I don't know. I don't know if that he gets less credit for that just because it was the era of progressivism, and you probably would have gotten that from most leaders of the time.
I
I
don't know.
do.
So, I don't know. You can
I
go
don't
ahead.
know.
You can go ahead. Seymour's. I don't know.
Mm.
He just opened my mind to that. I need to like read something on him actually. 'Cause I've watched documentaries and stuff like that, but I've never really read like a 10 hour or listened to a 10 hour long audio. So
Mm. Do you think when Biden dies, there'll be a wave of Biden nostalgia?
oh, 100. Well,
I mean, I think there'll be the sort of hand wringing that you hear now, like, oh, he's such a decent man, and he, this and that. I don't know if necessarily they'll be nostalgic for his presidency,
in the long
because
term, I think maybe in
I
like
think
50 years.
so. I don't know. The vibes are weird. The vibes have been really weird.
I could see 50 years from now. Like they're like, oh, those times were much more. You know how kids are. You know how every generation is like, oh, so much better back in the day.
Chief Palpatine. I met with World War II veterans last month, and they unironically looked better than mine. Oh, that's so sad.
It's actually cool to meet some World War II. That's actually crazy. The more I think
Yeah.
about it, that's actually
No,
crazy. World War II veterans.
some of Johnny Harris's videos rubbed me the wrong way, like a white guy who just found out about something. It's like checking. Okay. Johnny Harris, his editing style is incredible, man. And it's something that I like really try to emulate, especially when I was first starting out. I was like, I want to edit like Johnny Harris, but he just like that man is a corporation. He has like a whole team. Like, it is not feasible for me to do that kind of editing as much as I want to, and it would take me a lot more time between videos, and I'm not exactly quick at making videos already. So
Yeah.
Seymour said you should listen to / read McKay Coppin's Romney: A Reckoning. It's a unique look at a man traditionally considered boring. Oh,
Never thought I'd read
right
Romney.
that. Yeah. The Almost President book,
Let me search
I
that
think,
up.
was published before the 2012 election. I'm gonna write that down. Romney: A Reckoning. And they added an addendum at the end where they just talk about Mitt Romney for like the last 2 hours of the book because he was
Mhm.
the most recent almost president, and it was kind of irritating because I was like, you're going more in depth on Mitt Romney than you did on a lot of these other candidates, and it's literally just because he was the last nominee. And the one thing about that book is it was published at such an like right before Trump came around, and it's just like, the Republican Party is going in a direction we don't know where it's going. We'll have to see. Oh,
Yeah, I hate.
it's like, okay, knowing the answer now, it's like.
Seymour should watch that Mitt documentary on Netflix. He probably already has, but watch that documentary. It's really great. It's about Mitt Romney's election cycle, 2008 and obviously 2012.
Oh, we were talking about how Mitt Romney ran against Ted Kennedy for Massachusetts Senate, and I didn't know that until I read Almost President, and I thought that was crazy.
Yeah.
Will Faccaroni, #1 commenter, I think, on this one.
Yeah, shout out to Will.
Shout out to Will. Shout out to Luke Johns. Shout out to Fairy Princess, Jasmine
Palpatine.
Elizabeth, Palpatine, everyone, Seymour, everyone who's been here. Do you think the current situation with a former president seeking a non-consecutive term and a sitting president getting successfully pushed out by their own party will permanently change the normalcy?
Technically, we've already had that.
I mean, the assassination attempt followed by dropping out, Well, I guess the thing is that Trump is a former president. Like 68 had Bobby Kennedy be killed and then LBJ drop out. Or no, he was killed after LBJ dropped out, right? Time wise.
I
I
think
think
so.
LBJ dropped out in
Yeah,
March and
yeah.
Bobby
After,
Kennedy was killed in June.
yeah.
Yeah, like if it had been a former president challenging LBJ, that would have been crazier. I don't
In a
know.
way,
Like that's why you can't make a
Nixon's technically not a former president, but like same kind of vibe because he ran against Kennedy.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's hard to make the one-to-one comparisons. I don't know if it'll permanently change normalcy. I don't know if we're just like a bit too moderate in disposition to make predictions, or
Mhm.
because we're
Yeah.
all like, oh, we'll see. Like it's hard to tell.
I don't know. I think we've had Grover Cleveland run. We have 1968. I don't really think so. I think it's I
I'm gonna lean on maybe it does. Like
I think
we're at a
something
weird
January
place right now. Something's gonna change. Something's gonna
mm,
change.
I think January 6th has done like more to like change like elections than anything else than what's happening right now.
Let's see. Fairy Princess about the Woodrow Wilson conversation said, I feel like it's the fallout of the 14 points in terms of how basically every new country in Europe disintegrated into authoritarian states. Not sure how he
Yeah,
rates as liberalism.
I was thinking of that, but I feel like I didn't know enough to really make
I
that
mean,
statement.
hey, League of Nations doesn't work without the U.S. in it, and we failed to ratify that treaty. So
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really. I'm positive he did a lot of progressive stuff, but like you said, it's the era, so I don't think so. Tell me if you can hear my cats like scratching the door.
a little bit. It's okay. I'm surprised my cat hasn't meowed at the door yet. She will like run into my door and tackle it to try to get in. Like
That's
sometimes
crazy.
I just hear like a slam.
Yeah.
She's weird. Wilson, Secretary of Labor, was pro civil rights. I did not know that.
Interesting. I don't know that. You guys are
Um,
really making me want to go through like a Wilson era and just like read and watch everything
yeah,
on this.
dude, that's the thing I love so much about history is that like there's always so much more to learn. And just
Yeah,
we,
but
as
it's
much as
overwhelming
we try,
sometimes.
you just know nothing. You just know
Yeah,
nothing.
we're so focused on like a country that's only been around for like 300 years. It's insane. Or like what 400, 300 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Do you
crazy.
think Trump? Do you think Trump is going to be prosecuted for any of his crimes he committed? Um, eh,
After that
or
assassination,
if he wins the president? Oh, if he wins the presidency,
oh
probably not. No, probably not.
yeah, yeah, they literally
Uh,
tossed out
um,
that case by the what was it? What was the guy? Who was the guy? He's a very important person. I can't think of what his position was, but that was a pretty serious case, and they tossed it out. So no, Trump's immune now.
Luke Johns, Loki is a liberal. I kind of wonder if he'd better off if
That's
Romney won. Might
that's
have
actually a good
placated conservatives and prevented Trumpism. I don't know.
that's
I think Trumpism stemmed from the Tea Party movement, like frustrations around that. I think it was frustration that was building for a really long time, and I think that if it hadn't have come with Trump in 2016, well, I think it is very much just like specifically focused on Trump's personality. So maybe if it hadn't been Trump, it would have manifested in a different way. But I do think the populist sentiment and a lot of like the, I guess, Trump energy probably would have gone somewhere.
but I would say think about this: like you lose like the first black president loses his reelection, like that's gonna impact a lot. Or maybe it might not. Maybe it might just make black voters like extremely nihilistic about politics once again. So actually, maybe it would have been. I don't know. It's a weird thing. I know I
Oh,
would have been very nihilistic about politics if Obama lost in
oh,
2020.
Luke John said at least temporarily. So I guess I do agree with his.
Yeah, but that would have been really
um,
hard for a lot of minority voters, to be honest.
Palpatine says in 10 years I'll probably write a book about life under the Biden Trump era.
Yeah.
Palpatine's life during the Biden Trump era.
Yes. 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 He's now chancellor of no emperor of the of the United States. Just writing a book about that.
Yeah. Seymour Skinner says, loving the stream. So weird to see my little name come up on the screen. I've seen the Mitt documentary. I really like it, especially for the in the room look
Yo,
at him reacting to losing.
yeah,
Ooh, that
that was
is
great. Yeah, I get addicted to like when I
bad.
comment on live streams. I just love seeing my name pop up and then they answer my question. It's like amazing. So I know you.
That's so funny. Like we're just two dudes. We're
Yeah,
just like, we're
yeah, but no, I agree. The Mick documentary is amazing. I can if you guys are ever interested in documentaries on politics, I know all of them. I know.
yeah, Akai is watching like every single PBS documentary known to
Yeah,
man.
and you should too. You should too.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay. If Trump loses in 2024, will he accept the results? No.
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 We said
Bro,
it the same
bro,
time.
listen to people when they tell you who they are.
Yeah.
2016, I'll accept the results if I win. 2020, did not accept the results. Why would 2024 be any different, man?
My three favorite comedians in this world are Dave Chappelle, Shane Gillis, and Donald Trump, bro. He's so fucking funny. Dude, like,
Oh my
I'll accept
god.
the results if I win. Oh, so stupid.
Fairy Princess, Wilson joining the league wasn't Wilson's fault, but hostile Republican Congress. Yeah, I mean, but I guess it gets down to whether or not you blame a president for not being able to, like, do you blame the president or do you blame Congress? Like, would a better president have been able to work with Congress? Like, it's
Well, at that
kind of
time, it
semantic.
was easy to do. Maybe the Congress at that time, and I can't speak on this too much.
No, there was like some big isolationist
Yeah,
backlash after the First World War.
but why would it? Shouldn't it have been like? Shouldn't at that specific moment though? Shouldn't they have been not isolationists? I don't know. Like I understand like post the war completely, like when it's completely done and everyone's kind of like moved on. But I'm pretty
Oh
sure
my
this is
god.
what happened.
The next four comments are all about Woodrow Wilson.
Oh what?
Are all about Woodrow Wilson. Okay, I'm sorry guys. I don't know if we could derail the stream by that much to just go that far into Wilson. I'm sorry, love you guys.
I'm
But
gonna watch. I'm gonna read and watch.
well, let's learn a little bit more about Wilson, just because me and Akai aren't particularly knowledgeable about him. So
I know the general,
yeah, like I got broad strokes.
but you guys seem like you have some in-depth knowledge on that.
Yeah. Palpatine said Trump is basically the only thing holding together the Republican Party. You have Bush era neocons, moderates like Romney, PragerU types, the Marjories, and the Tucker Carlson / Alex Jones. I throw Marjorie more in with the Alex Jones
Alex
than I would
Jones, yeah, I don't think Tucker Carlson's.
Carlson.
Maybe he was just typing that out fast and he didn't mean that. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson's his own thing. Tucker
Man,
Carlson's
Palpatine.
the Tucker Carlson kind of person.
Yeah, Palpatine's very insightful. I mean, he is the Senate after all.
Yes,
So.
he is. Yeah. I think you said I was like, he is the Senate. But
I mean, it's definitely a coalition. Like, I think that evangelicals, when they voted for Trump in 2016, they weren't under the impression that he like represented like them to a T. Like, they didn't think this guy was some good Christian. In a European country, that would probably be a coalition government, and they'd be separate parties.
true.
Right. But the Democratic Party's also got weird coalitions right now. I don't know. I think that's just an effect of having just two big tent parties, supposedly. And it's weird with Trump, especially when Trump's politics are just so vibes based. It's just him, right? Like the policy comes second.
That is true. For the people that are talking about Wilson, like, what's the best book or documentary? Like, I hate to, because I will.
No.
I might watch
a
it
great
tonight,
question.
actually, or read it tonight, depending on what it is.
Yeah, I gotta finish that documentary. I'm like halfway through it.
Yeah, I would never subject myself, even if it's good, I can't.
It's a good book. Bad narrator though. The narrator. Oh, I really don't mean to sound insensitive. The narrator sounds like RFK Jr. Like.
I want to hear that. I'm so tempted to start doing an RFK impression right now.
Oh no,
that's all right.
Okay, y'all. Do you think the criticisms of George W. Bush's war on terror contained undertones of American isolationism, which directly influenced isolation? I don't. Okay, I do think it definitely contributed to the isolationism we have today, but it was just also like they're just unpopular wars, and like that's why that's why Bush isn't at the Republican National Convention, because like the main aspects of his presidency are just things that people don't support. You know, I
don't think it
like Trump exists. Like the Trump, your brother, that 9/11 happened. Like,
dude, I'm also thinking about RFK's voice. But no. But I don't know. Like people, they were pretty patriotic about going to war. It was just a really stupid war. Like,
man, but it turned around quick. Public opinion on that went.
Yeah, like, it was just so stupid. I think it was more about it's just people just had common sense to be like, wait, what's going on here? Why are we in just because he's like a brown Middle Eastern country. Like, what are we doing? This is not the right one. Like, so yeah, like no. I think we definitely are a lot more isolationist now.
Yeah. I mean, we are more isolationist now, but also look at our involvement in Ukraine and in Israel. Uniparty is still doing its thing. Wolf Macaroni says, what do you think it's going to be like in the future when Trump is featured in serious historical works instead of just be an over parody joke? Book on Trump's not done yet. Like that's the.
You said what? Sorry, I didn't hear that properly.
Oh, sorry. Maybe my audio cut out. What do you think it's going to be like?
No, I heard the question, but what did you say about Trump's what? Sorry.
Oh, the book on Trump's still being written.
Oh yeah, sure.
You know, I like a book. So there's so many books about Trump already that have just aged so badly because they're not going to have the assassination attempt.
Yeah,
like they're not going to have the third election where he's at the top of the ticket. I don't know. It's just there's no way to know yet. That's just, it's a little scary because like he's been a political figure for what year was the
2012?
Oh, yeah, the White House Correspondents' Dinner and the birther conspiracies.
Like 2011, 2010.
Man, I'm doing that rap lyric video right now, and I got to the Mac Miller portion with the Donald Trump song, and there's a video from like when Trump was running early in his campaign, and Mac Miller was like, "Could you imagine if Donald Trump became the president?" Like, I just couldn't take it seriously. Like, no one would take this country seriously. It'd be crazy.
Mac Miller.
I don't know. You'll see it in next week's video.
Okay, I don't want to. We'll tell me in a second what the next week's video is. I don't know what it is.
Oh, we talked about it's the rap lyrics about American presidents.
Oh yeah. Okay, I remember that.
Yeah.
I don't know. We gotta wait like at least 30 years before we get like a good Trump book, and even then, that still might be too early for how polarizing he is.
I agree. Fairy Princess said, "Oh wait, no, never mind. Sorry, I'm gonna try to dodge the Wilson comments for the moment. My bad. Imagine if Quentin Tarantino. Is that why he canceled? His final film so that he could refilm it?
He's like, guys, I figured it out. It's so funny. Question: What good movie would Quentin Tarantino make about a president? Like, which president would it be? That's a great question.
Oh, Jackson. It'd have to be violent. It'd have to be really violent.
That's true. It would have to focus on. I would feel like he did want to do something on Black people. So. Like that has Black people a part of it. Obviously, it's like Obama directing. Okay,
dude. I don't know. It would have to be maybe.
No.
I mean, Django. Like, I think if he were to do something historical in that way, like we already got Django, so he's not going to do anything with slavery.
Let me put it like this: Samuel Jackson has to be a supporting cast member. So, what movie is going to have Samuel Jackson?
You could find him or maybe not a Jackson movie.
Lee Daniels, the butler. You know that one? He just makes the butler.
Dude, Robin Williams is Eisenhower in that movie. That's such a weird decision.
Robin Williams. That's strange.
Yeah, that's a really weird one.
We'll go with Jackson. I think Jackson works.
Yeah, Kai, it's your time to shine. What good and factually correct documentaries do you recommend?
Oh, let me get you started. Now that you've asked me, like I'm thinking about a million ones. Anything that CNN does, and not the news part of CNN, the CNN documentaries. If you're trying to start off simple, watch like the decade series where they talk about each decade, just like the 90s, the 2000s. They have episodes on presidents if you're starting off simple. But if you really want to go in depth, anything by PBS American Experience, or anything made by oh Lord, I'm forgetting the dude's name now. Ken Burns. This is if you want to go super in depth. So either American Experience, PBS, or any Ken Burns documentary. That's the best place to start. And they'll go through all the presidents, almost anything you want. I can keep going more in detail, get more specific about what you mean, and I got you. If you want to watch like
if If you make a list, I can post it on the community tab as well.
Yeah,
Like if people want
I
to
think,
see.
I think I made you a giant ass list one time. You remember that?
Oh, you probably, dude. That's probably like years ago,
Yeah,
or
that's when we
like
were
at
first
least a
talking.
year ago.
Yeah.
Luke Johns, believe it or not, we talked about this on the stream already. The clip of Donald Trump on Wendy
Yeah, we
Williams.
already brought that
I
up,
was
dude.
I was saying how Trump could have been the greatest drag queen of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, we brought up this whole Wendy Williams thing already. It was hilarious. Perfect
That
drag.
man was meant to be a daytime talk show host.
And then the orange,
That
oh my, the orange spray, like, oh, it's so
oh,
perfect.
dude,
It's all
he's
there.
so fun. Oh my god.
What would
If
he
Trump
call
is
him?
successful in his vision, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, dude.
We're
This
gonna
is
ask what his drag
exactly
queen
stuff.
name would be.
Yeah, Danella. Trump. The last name Trump is perfect. You don't need to change that at all. I'm thinking like Danella, but I'm gonna get lost in this.
Oh my, it would have. Oh, I'm just thinking about that now too. I should.
Yeah, like
We can't talk about Woodrow Wilson, but we could talk about Donald Trump's drag queen.
yeah, we can talk about.
Um,
It's so bad.
if Trump is successful, I'm sorry, guys. If Trump is successful in his vision of remaking America with his cult-like image, will his cult-like image transform into some historical myth?
Too many liberals
I
to
think,
really let that happen.
yeah, I think Trump is inherently divisive. I don't think that Trumpism is trying to unify the country because it is very much like an us versus them mentality, and it's not even necessarily like it's populist, but it's not like a us versus the elites, or at least that's not the core tenet of it. There that exists, but there's also just like we don't like liberals and we like the person that pisses liberals off. And if your ideology is based off like making half the country upset, I don't know if that could necessarily happen.
I think conservatives are gonna love him, obviously, for as long as there is like this version of the conservative party. Like he's gonna be, people are gonna love him. So, but I don't think it's gonna be like some broad support. Like he's not gonna be like Teddy Roosevelt or anything like that.
I mean, look at how fast we changed up on George Bush.
Yeah, sure.
Though I will say Donald Trump is like, or at least I think he will be like a defining Reagan type figure. The Republican Party has been the party of Reagan. I mean, the Republicans have been the party of Reagan since the 1980s, and no one really changed that up until Trump. It became the party of Trump.
Yeah, as long as you mean like for the Republicans, but definitely not for America, I don't think.
To a future certified Woodrow stream.
We actually
we will.
Dude, like I said, I'll research everything on Woodrow.
Yeah, I would love to go through the presidents like one by one.
Mm-hmm.
It is intimidating. But I'll make a Woodrow Wilson video eventually. I need to make more videos on Republicans because I realize that I've done 2 LBJ videos, a JFK one.
Oh shit, you have
I've done a lot of Democrats. The only Republican I did like a documentary style video on fully was Nixon. But that's also my longest video. That one's 30 minutes.
Nixon's like the best one to do. Eisenhower, that's too liberal.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Mr. Beat's video on Eisenhower is just incredible. Like it's really hard to do. Like when you know that someone's done something so well, it's kind of hard to try to follow it up. I'd have to go at it from like my own unique perspective.
Reagan's pre-president, like his existence before that is so boring. Like I do not care that he was an actor.
I mean, JJ sent me this really interesting article from back in the day about Reagan called The Child Monarch, just talking about how Reagan was the face, Reagan was the vibes, but he didn't have that much to do with the actual day-to-day governance of his presidency. And I thought that was really interesting, and I thought that would be a really cool video to make. I guess I did The Last Great President, which is sort of like half Johnson, half Reagan, where I talked a bit about that. But I think that I'm sorry because I haven't made the Clinton White House video yet that I told you I was going to make, but making a Reagan White House video to parallel that Clinton one would be interesting.
Be interesting, yeah. I remember Colin Powell was talking about Reagan. He was like, he went up to Reagan and he asked him like a question about like policy or whatever. And Reagan's like, "Look at this squirrel. Isn't that a nice squirrel?" And he's like, "Mr. President, but like this is going on. It's like that squirrel's look at it, look at the nuts. Like he was just straight up like I think it was Alzheimer's mode back then. I think Powell made it seem like he was actually just like thinking higher than he was. I just think he was on some Alzheimer's stuff right there.
Yeah, Jesus God, I gotta plug in my computer. But, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna mispronounce your name. Abhinav Dinesh said, "If you think about it, what a historical week of events, political and non-political.
Yeah,
Was
no,
the Trump assassination attempt last Saturday? Was that only a week ago?
probably was, dude. I think it was
That
last week.
dude
No,
was
they
that?
didn't get the RNC. Let me see. Trump assassination.
There's no way. If that was last week, that's crazy. July 13th. Yeah, that was 8 days ago. Time? Oh my God, that is the longest week
It's like COVID
ever,
again. It's
dude.
like the COVID days where everything was happening, like
Jesus.
BLM and then COVID and then Trump gets. Oh, dude, those months were like we're like a whole year, a whole like
Oh,
2
we got
years.
a bunch of great book recommendations as well on
Milton Cooper's.
Wilson,
So I'll type it
Milton
in right now.
Cooper, Scott Berg, or sorry, John Milton Cooper
Take a bunch of
Jr. and
us.
Scott Berg.
Milton Cooper. Okay, awesome. I got that. It's only like 3 hours for an audiobook. And then you said who's the other one?
Scott Berg.
Scott Berg. Gotcha. Which Rosen? All right, cool. Gotcha. Thank you.
Steve said you should look up J. William Fulbright. He was a very interesting senator who tried preserving Wilsonianism.
Why do I know that name? I know stuff about him, but I can't remember.
That sounds familiar too.
Unless it's just like a similar name to someone else, but I'm pretty sure I know who Fulbright is. Let me search him up right now.
If Trump lives in his 90s and is no longer president, I still feel like he will be making big news. Yeah, probably. I don't think Trump ever really goes away.
Sadly.
As long as he lives, he will be the leading figure in the Republican Party.
Sadly. Yeah. They're going to bring him out in a wheelchair one day to give his like speech.
It's so funny because people always comment on my videos about like how unpartisan and how like unbiased they are, and I feel like that our ideology comes across very clearly in this.
I'm interested if people here are voting for Trump at all. We've never asked.
Yeah, I'd love to hear people's political positions. Which like I don't mind sharing them on the stream because I think it's more so of like, hey, we could have a conversation. Like our biases, and even in the video, I feel like if people say my videos are like pretty unbiased, and I try, but I think you can see my perspective.
We won't judge you guys if you guys bring it up. I'm very big into Barron Trump right now, so.
Oh, dude, a friend of my mom's was talking to my mom about my videos, and she was like, "Andre's videos are way too left wing."
Really?
And I was like, "Bro, why?" Because I said that Trump lost. Like, what are you talking about?
Too far gone.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm scrolling down to get like a. Oh my God, we're so late on so many of these comments.
Wait, we're still getting a lot of comments?
Yeah, we're still getting a bunch of comments. We're 2 hours into the stream.
Jesus Christ.
So I'm going to skip some of the comments. Maybe we could go back to them later, but I want to see a bit of a response here. Chief Palpatine said there are decades where nothing happens, and there are weeks where decades happen.
True.
Yeah.
Listen, did you come? Okay, he quoted that, so.
Yeah, he did. Mr. Beat had a recent video actually where he was talking about how he was pretty much talking about that, like the progressive era, how everything sort of bunched up before that, and then the dam broke. Same thing with civil rights. Like nothing happened, and then everything happened at once. And we're kind of going through that now with things that people agree on, like anti-stock trading and like the income inequality.
Yeah, that's true.
Great people were making Vivek Yang parallels. Yeah, I mean podcast circles, I guess. Like the sort of online nature of their candidacies.
He makes a little smarter about it, though. I'll give him that. I wonder if he's going to be a senator from Ohio, because he's from Ohio, and J.D. Vance is gone.
I don't think he gets appointed, though. But Fairy Princess said that was a Lenin quote.
Oh, nice. But not nice. It's still a great quote.
Constance the second says, "I'm voting Trump."
Nice.
Fairy Princess is non-American. Where are you from, Fairy Princess? It's weird when people say they are both Asian Americans when Arabs, Indians, and East Asians are completely different peoples. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I always had a problem with that too, but I just don't speak about it because I don't think about it too.
The vibe in the stream right now seems very democratic as one. Yeah, I mean,
I'm supporting Barron Trump. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
dude, I mean, it's just our. I think if we did this entire 2-hour live stream and we just weren't including our opinions and we were trying to be like unbiased and in the center the entire time, I don't think it'd be very interesting.
That is true. But like I
Yeah.
said, we are
Like,
open all. We're not judging you guys. That's such like a waste to like.
Seymour said, I'm very pro Kamala, and I became very anti Biden when it looked like he wasn't exiting. I'm like obsessed with Romney, and he's like the one Republican I'd vote for since like 1884.
Aaron Sorkin would love you.
Aaron Sorkin would adore you.
Choice, dude.
No, you are the person that he wrote that article for.
Did they see it? Did they hear us talk about the article? Seymour, did you hear us talk about Aaron Sorkin's article?
Oh, he must have
to comment again for us to see, but
yeah. Okay, we caught up the comments. I'm gonna go back up a little bit. Seymour said earlier Trump was first really considered running for in 1988. Really, I didn't know it was that early.
Yeah, I remember that.
Actually, Sweetwater, if he could join Bush on the ticket, he was laughed at. Yeah, I mean Bush didn't end up voting for him, so. Luke Johns, one of Trump's policies that scares me the most is the anti-bureaucratic stuff. Yeah, the bureaucracy is very important to governance functioning, and if it's replaced with incompetent loyalists, we're in trouble.
100%.
I mean, that's
Vance. We'll see what Vance
does. Comes down to staffing.
Yeah.
Personnel policy. It really comes down to staffing.
Like I said, if you vote for Vance, he'll do that one day. I don't doubt it.
Seymour is spitting with the comments. On a president, Andrew Jackson makes a lot of sense for Tarantino, but left-wing choice I think would be Woodrow Wilson. Andrew Johnson would be funny. Andrew Johnson. I would love to see Andrew Johnson. I'd love to see Andrew Johnson from like the Coen brothers.
No, dude, it's Grant. It's literally Grant.
Oh, Grant's a lot of fun.
Grant's a lot of fun. Perfect choice for
who did
anti-KKK? That's literally the dude. It's done.
Were you saying DiCaprio for Grant? Who did you say for Grant?
Shit, who did I say for Grant? We got to come back to that, dude, because I forgot. Oh, Hugh Jackman, I think. Was it Hugh Jackman?
Hugh Jackman. Oh, Hugh Jackman's cool.
Was it Hugh Jackman? Yeah, Hugh Jackman for Grant, yeah.
You wanted to That's crazy. That's crazy, bro.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Oh, well, Lincoln was also divisive. He became mythical.
That is true. I mean, fucking Civil
War. That's a fair point. But Lincoln. Okay. Lincoln's thing was about unity. It wasn't about vilifying the South. It was about welcoming the South back in, and he like making Andrew Johnson like the only Southern governor to stay loyal to the, or I guess the only border state governor to stay loyal to the Union. Like it was very focused on healing. Like I'm sorry, Trump just isn't Abraham Lincoln. Like I read Team of Rivals. I read Team of Rivals recently, and Lincoln was very, very calculated. Like so many different decisions made on the unification of the country. I think Lincoln was a very active unifier, even if he was divisive at the time, given the Civil War that ripped the country apart. I think he was more unification focused than Trump is.
100% agree.
Dwight Eisenhower is overrated. Do a video on Ike, but make it about Adlai Stevenson. Yeah, Adlai Stevenson was an interesting one to learn about in the Almost President. I don't know. I like Eisenhower.
Yeah,
for the most part.
Maybe it means like he was just president during a good time. So, and we tend to like give him too much credit for that. I can see that.
But the big thing against Eisenhower for me is the coups.
the tons of coups. Yeah.
Yeah. I should do a George Wallace video and an RFK one to complement it. An RFK video will be done. I'm fascinated by RFK.
I'm thinking, dude, my whole politics.
No, not Junior. Junior's not nearly as interesting. I absolutely love like Bobby Kennedy.
I still haven't truly gotten into RFK yet. Oh, there's a great. Did you see Bobby Kennedy for President on Netflix? It's like a TV series.
I watched that when I knew nothing about Bobby Kennedy.
Same. I think I'm gonna watch it.
Reagan was California governor in the 60s. Interesting
Yes.
talking.
Yeah, that is true.
Should do a video about Barry Goldwater. Yes, I should. There's so many videos I got to do. You have no idea.
Very cool.
Um, let's see.
Or just the
What else
rise
was
of
I
like
saying?
that kind of conservatism. That's the real video.
Yeah, that was. I keep talking about almost presidents, but the people just keep bringing up those figures. Just
Make a
Barry
video called
Goldwater
Would you do that?
lost.
Dude,
Wait, I'm
almost
sorry.
president's video. Would you make a video called that's called that?
Okay, I would, but the thing about those kind of videos is you realize when you're like my issue with the Brazil's last five president videos I made, for example, there's so much more I could have said about each president. That video could have been so long, and it's really hard making decisions on what to cut and what not to cut. And like, there's some criticisms on that video. Where people are like, "You didn't mention this, you didn't mention that," and I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. Like, I didn't, and it's impossible to mention everything." So I would have to just figure out like what figures I want to cover and what extent I would want to cover them. It is a lot easier to make those decisions when making a video about like one or two central figures.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. Um, what do you guys think about Alan Lichtman's 13 Keys to the White House? I don't have the very high opinion of it.
Dude. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I don't.
I mean, I think it doesn't apply with this election cycle. This one seems a
Yeah.
little bit different. But I understand what you're saying because, like, if Joe Biden does drop out, like, yeah, it's you can easily say like, oh yeah, they're gonna lose. But I don't know. I mean, he has predicted it right every single time though, so that is impressive.
Okay. Here. Where do you see a post-Trump Republican Party going?
Oh,
No
dude,
idea.
that's so hard to predict. That is
No
so
way to
hard
know.
to predict.
Okay.
So many different things can
It
happen. So many events could happen.
so the thing about the Trumpian Republican Party is that it is built so much about around itself, Trump himself, that I'm curious to see once he's not around as a figure anymore, if it can last.
Mhm.
Like that sort of coalition that they have right now. I don't know if any other figure would be able to sort of hit all the bases in that way that Trump does.
I
Like
think someone
that
needs to be
very
talented.
unique. Like I know we were talking about being like us being on the left. But like Trump is super talented. Trump is a super talented politician. Like there's no other politician in America that could have done what Donald Trump has done.
Mhm.
Like it is a ridiculous political talent. It is a unique political talent that I think we don't talk about enough because we kind of have this image of Trump as like this bumbling dude who kind of like he's funny and like yeah, that's true. He is goofy, but he has incredible political instincts.
Yeah, he does. I don't know. It comes down to what happens to Trump. Like, is he like this? Do people continue to support him post like what happens in 2024? It's all dependent on that. Just Trump as a person. If he just dies a martyr, or not dies a martyr, just dies a normal age after getting like reelected, then we're gonna it's gonna look like Trump for a very long time. I think Jacob.
Well,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I think what you were saying connects to this, and I think it's why Trump's appeal, like why Trump gets away with everything. So Will Falcaroni asks, why do you think January 6th has not had that big of an effect on this election? Whenever I hear about Trump
No, dude.
being dangerous to democracy, they talk about Project 2025. Dude, people's memories are so short. January 6th, forever ago, any other politician that would have ruined them, grab them by the pussy would have ruined them. Like the convictions would have ruined
I
them.
forgot about that.
Dude, everything like nothing. Teflon Don. Teflon Don. Incredible talent.
It's because
Incredible.
Trump, Trump is a swamp monster. So if you throw shit on him, like who cares? It's Trump.
Yeah, like
Like Obama, if Obama does some crazy shit, people remember that because he portrays himself as like some like a Kennedy esque.
So I would say people are talking about Project 2025 more because if you don't like January 6th, you're not voting for Trump. Like or at least you have to be okay enough with it or just like dislike the Democrats enough to just like go past it. Then it becomes a question of turnout and motivation. And I don't think people are going to be that motivated by January 6th that happened 4 years ago.
Sadly.
Right? Like it's war like abortion that is recent on people's minds. Like what else Trump could do when he takes office, like the other super unpopular socially conservative positions, that threatens people. Like
That's
talking about the past, like Biden, like the worst thing Republicans do is when they try to run on like lockdowns and masks. It's like, bro, no one cares. Like, no one cares.
It's about what he can do. It's about what he's capable of doing, not what he has done in the past. You know. So yeah, that's why.
Seymour says Sorkin's article is a little silly, and Romney would really deflate Democratic turnout, but he does mention it won't happen near the end, I think. Kamala/Romney incoming, though. Trust the plan, JK.
What?
I mean, hey.
That's the worst, actually.
It's not the worst idea.
Unironically, that would not be, like, if that happened tomorrow, I actually wouldn't be. It's actually not. I hate to be corny, but that might not be the worst.
Could you imagine us saying that about Lincoln Johnson? It's not the worst.
Dude, that's funny. That's funny.
What's gonna happen? Is it gonna get shot?
Might make sense. This actually might be the best choice. I hate to do that, but like, what do you think?
I had. Oh, okay. I had this boss, great guy, super nice guy, and we were going on a work trip once, and he was like upper middle class, like professional class type dude. Probably like his 50s. He was a gay guy. And I remember him, like, we were talking a little bit about politics. And I really wanted to get his feel because he's like normie Democratic voter. And this is in 2021, like late 2021. And he's like, you know who really needs to run for president? Like, who I think could really, really run, like, unify the country? Liz Cheney.
That's what I was thinking. I should have guessed
it. No, and it's, dude, that is that pipe dream. That like professional, that like white collar worker sort of like normie lib thing would eat up the Kamala Romney ticket.
Dude, I love, like I said, I think Harris Romney is actually, I hate to say it, might be a good choice. Obviously, if you're a Trump supporter, that's like the nastiest thing you can think of. But for like the voters that Kamala needs, that's a pretty good choice.
Seymour said, Ike's good stuff like the highways with all congressional Democrats, plus he's actually fought with Justice Warren over Brown v. Board and said some pretty racist.
I did not know that, dude. Holy shit, I did not know that. I guess it's similar to like how Trump passed the what's it called again? The First Step Act, and how like might be like, oh, it's because Trump's such a great president, like when actually it's like no.
Oh my god. I wanted to throw that and the Alice Johnson stuff into the rap lyric video because it has a lot to do with Kanye. Mm-hmm. But I feel like that might just be broadening the scope a little too much.
Probably. But dude, it's interesting. I didn't know that actually.
Yeah, that's cool.
I just look at the accomplishments and go, okay, yeah, that's because of him.
Let's see. There's so many comments I don't even know which to choose. Okay. Luke John said Reagan was a New Deal Democrat until the McCarthy era. Many speculate it was Nancy that turned him right wing. Imagine a liberal Reagan presidency. Man.
Yeah, he was. I was reading a book on Reagan. He was like really like pro like FDR when he was younger. So
imagine if Ronald Reagan used his powers for good.
That would be great.
Dude, hip hop hates Ronald Reagan. Oh my god!
Really Killer Mike's song on him, right?
It's in there, bro. It's in the video already, and I'm trying to figure out how to talk about it because he's like they're all one party being controlled by their leaders, the real leaders. Obama, Bush, they all went after Gaddafi, Clinton, and at the end he's like, "I'm glad Reagan's dead." And I'm like, oh, bro, I do not know how to cover this without just.
That's hard. That's the Killer Mike Reagan thing. That's gonna be funny.
Yeah. Also, y'all,
anti-Reagan.
Y'all, if you want to be amazing and support me on Patreon, I'd appreciate that because my next video is 100% getting demonetized because I have like 20 different rap songs in it. Like I'm not making a cent off of that video. So
we're looking at you, Will, and Sheev, and Luke.
No, Luke Johns, I know for sure is a Patreon supporter. So shout out to you again. Okay, guys, I think we gotta wrap up. So I'm gonna skip a couple of the next questions. If anyone has any closing questions now, we could take a look at those, and then we'll probably finish up for the night. So right now, we could let's look at a different question while. Did you see the Hunter Biden movie by Breitbart? Bro, I did
I
not
thought we
know
were about
that
to get a
was
serious
real.
I did not see that. No, I did
Thank
not know
you.
about
Thank you
that.
for letting me know about
Oh
that, because
wait,
that's
I do know
insane.
about that. It's been so long. I've seen the
What?
trailer for that. Actually, I
Oh
do.
my god, what?
It's dumb.
I
Yeah,
mean, it's a Hunter Biden movie by Breitbart, dude.
dude. Any like
Dude,
Ben, we need to have like a Ben Shapiro watch party where we watch all his movies.
no, Gina Carano's in it.
Yeah. I remember there's someone that was actually
No,
like famous in there.
dude.
First, I thought that was like
Okay,
a joke question, then I actually realized that
that's
is true.
crazy, bro. No, why is there a photo from that movie where it's like Joe Biden sniffing Gina Carano? What the hell?
Mm.
What is, oh,
Yeah, we need
okay,
to have
okay.
like, a conservative movie watch party.
Let's answer these last few questions. What's your most out there prediction from your current POV on the 2024 election?
I guess Kamala winning right now is
Yeah, I'd say
pretty.
that the coconut pill army comes out. I'd say that, I don't know, like if Kamala manages to turn this around, then I would have like really underestimated her as a politician for a long time.
I think we're underestimating her a little bit.
Yeah, like that's why I'm kind of like trying to be a little more in the middle
Mhm.
about her. If she, I mean, shit, dude. Like I said at the beginning, people just fundamentally don't like Trump very much.
Yeah.
So anything's possible. And I think if you had asked us for our most out there prediction for the 2024 election a month and a half ago, we would not have gone nearly as out there as what we've experienced.
You know what's so sad? All those people that were like, "Oh, they're just propping Biden up, but they're going to replace him with Gavin Newsom or Kamala at the DNC." Actually, they got it. Like they did. I was like, "Oh, you're
And
stupid."
you know what? I'm glad that they did.
You know?
Like,
No,
I didn't think the Democratic Party was competent enough.
yeah, dude, that's crazy in hindsight. But it's just great coincidence on their part. But,
Okay. Chief Palpatine. My last question will be, who do you think Kamala's VP will be? Also, it's a Lindsay Ladybug story, actually. True.
dude, I think
Okay.
they are. He's not
Lindsay.
married.
Okay, Kamala VP. I'm gonna say Mark Kelly.
I'm gonna say Mark Kelly or Roy Cooper. That's for sure.
Mark Kelly or Roy Coop. I think Mark Kelly, because but they might try to lock in the Rust Belt. Because it depends whether or not they.
Imagine Kamala Fetterman. Be funny.
Oh God, no, God,
Yeah, I hope
no.
not.
It could be Shapiro too. I think Shapiro, like
I
out of
Shapiro, I
the.
don't think he would do it. But then again, he
Yeah,
would, because like he would definitely be. He
no,
could
dude,
definitely.
he put his Kamala endorsement out so quick. That man
Yeah,
is on VP. That man's on VP watch.
yeah. I guess. What if Ossoff? There's so many. There's Ossoff and Warnock. No, Warnock's not because he's black.
Hunter Biden, 2024. Trust the process.
No, dude.
Didn't,
Barron's
didn't
all the way.
Warnock didn't Warnock like run over his like ex-wife's leg or something like
I think
that?
so,
And that
something
was
like
like a weird scandal.
Bro, I had no clue Georgia was like had like such a high black population. I think I told you that.
What? Really?
So serious. It's like one of the
Dude,
most.
it's a all deep south states have like pretty high black populations, but Atlanta is supposed to be like the
No, yeah,
black capital of America, dude.
yeah, that is true.
Um, Closing question for me. Do you have any primary candidates, either R or D, you wish won the national primary for their party? Scoop Jackson, 1972, RFK, 1968, Jerry Brown. You know, it's funny, before we got to the end of the question, I was
I'm
going
gonna
to be
say.
like, RFK if he didn't get murdered. Like,
I'm gonna say make the bold choice. No one's gonna agree with me on this, but Teddy Roosevelt when he was running against Taft. But no, he actually gets like
no,
more interesting.
I agree with that. Or wait, you're being sarcastic.
Yeah. No. Actually, I agree. Like, but that's like so obvious, like such an obvious choice. I only
I
know
would have
one
liked
thing.
it. I don't know if this is a lame answer, but I think LBJ winning in 60 would have been cool.
Interesting. Yeah.
Or
What do you think
actually,
about
no, because I guess he doesn't.
accomplished? I don't
Yeah,
think
he
so.
doesn't get as much done. He doesn't have the supermajority,
Yeah.
or not the supermajority, but he doesn't get the JFK sympathy.
There's so many, dude. There's so many different choices to choose from. Hillary
Yeah.
Clinton. Oh wait. I
Well,
think the best one is
said.
dude, I kind of wanted to. I think we could honestly we could have kept that question going for a while. That was a good question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We just got to wrap up.
Yeah, I know.
Like it's 9:23. I work tomorrow.
That is true. Someone in
Is it
88. No.
if Shapiro ran for Kamala's VP, how many people do you think would think Ben Shapiro? I would hope not
This
that
is the
many.
last question.
I like to think I think more highly of the American people than that. Haroon said thanks for the stream. Glad you enjoyed it. Thank you for coming, man. Appreciate it. Okay, we will. Luke Johns' question will be our last one. When we get to Fairy Princess said, no last question. Good stream, fellas. Thank you for joining us.
Henry Wallace.
Might be a good Haroon said, "What's your best bet on how the DNC will go in a month?" I mean, it could go one of two ways. Yeah, like it could be a mess with a primary challenge, or it could just be like a coronation. Really?
Yeah, either yes. I think most likely Obama will whip everyone into like shape and be like, yeah, no, get behind.
Okay. Final question of the night. Last question. Is there any big changes you had in your views on a certain politician, like one you hated but now love, or vice versa? That's a
Bernie. I used to really love Bernie, and now he's still a good guy, but I don't know. He's lost the bit of the magic he had when I was younger. Biden too.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna say Biden and Bernie because, like, I was huge Bernie bro.
Both of us.
But I don't think Bernie is as smart of a political player. Like, I don't think he's very effective as a politician, unfortunately. And that was like a really big learning experience for me. And I think it's something a lot of people go through. That's just like realizing just because someone lines up with your ideology doesn't mean that they would necessarily be good at governing. And it's the same thing with like people's morality. Like if you look at like LBJ was a fucking like terrible person, but he was an incredibly effective like politician. You know, that's just how it works. And sometimes you need to be a bad person to get things done. And that's why politics is so messy. And Biden, like being a creature of Washington, had the actual legislative experience necessary to get a really like comprehensive agenda through, you know, like, so I think I admire Biden's political ability more than I did before, and I admire Bernie less, but because I can remove myself from the ideology a bit and just look at their material accomplishments.
That's literally my same point. And then Nixon too. I used to like really, really dislike Nixon, but the more I learned about him, still a shitty person, but got a lot done.
Got some shitty positions too, but he was effective. He was very effective.
Yeah.
Okay. More people saying they love the stream. Thank you everyone for coming. Okay, one more question. Hey Andre, do you have any other social / a Discord or something? I've been wanting to start a Discord, man. I think I just need to figure out like all the necessary things to do there. I have an Instagram and I have a TikTok and a Twitter that I'm not very active on. Like on TikTok and Instagram, I would just kind of repost like the shorts that I used to do. I used to do a bunch of shorts, but I've been kind of wanting to do different types of content on there. I'm pretty active on Twitter. I don't really tweet original thoughts though. I'm more so just like read stuff and retweet. So I kind of have to reposition myself a bit. And that's why I don't tend to push my socials very much, is just because they're not as good as they could be. But yeah, I think that is where I will leave it for now. People are saying they need a Discord. Thank you guys. Yeah, I should get a Discord set up. Yeah, I appreciate everyone for coming. Thank you for like, we're just two dudes and you guys just came and had a conversation with us for 2.5 hours, which is like awesome. And thank you guys for all the kind words. Thank you, Akai, for joining us.
No problem.
Yeah, your presence is also appreciated. Like, God, these are literally just the conversations me and Akai have whenever we talk to each other. So like to be able to have those conversations with just like a bigger group of people is awesome. Okay, I've been ending this for a while now, so I just gotta say goodnight, y'all. Okay, bye guys.
Thank you guys.